Welcome, everybody, to the 30th edition of TWitWoW Five Fave Fives. Honestly, when I saw the description from the last video and updated it for this video, I was stunned that we are already on the 30th edition of this. This is number 30. It's crazy to think that we've been doing this for that long because at first we were only doing 4 a year. So we've probably been doing this for at least like 6 years, at least, if not seven. Um, and man, it feels like we've come so far because you go back. Actually, I can tell you how long we've been doing this because I can go back and tell you the first one we did. First one we did was April 6th of 2017. So we've been doing this for over 7 years now. And it's kind of crazy to look back at that one because back at that one, we still had Lucha Underground to do a list on, and we were still actively watching New Japan, and acts like The Revival and Emma were still in WWE. It's kind of incredible, honestly.
Yeah.
But man, nowadays everything's changed. But I don't know. It's still a very interesting world of wrestling, and I'm looking forward to talking about what we love about it with you. So as you and as most of our fan base already knows, we open these things by talking about just WWE first. We go in order: WWE, NXT, Stardom, Marigold, and then other. And once we finish talking about all five of those little categories, we will always close these by doing a universal top 10, where we just talk about our top 10 favorite overall performers in the world of wrestling, regardless of promotion. So, John, if you have any preliminary thoughts you want to talk about, feel free. Otherwise, we can get right into our WWE lists.
Just that I'm very excited to share this with you all. I think this is one of the more unique lists. I think my most unique lists this month were my Stardom list,
Nice.
and B my Universal Top 10. So very excited to share those. But as you know, I always ask, do you want to open with the WWE list or should I?
Yeah, sure. I'll open with mine. So we, for the last bunch of these, we've been treating our honorary mentions as basically an extension of our Fave Five, kind of making it like a rounded out top 10. And I did that with pretty much all of these, although I will say NXT, I could not narrow it down to 10. I had to do 11. So WWE, though, from 10 to 6, I have Sami Zayn, Michin, Kevin Owens, the Terror Twins, and American Made.
Very nice, very nice. Okay. So I also did from 10 to 6, and I think that's how I'm going to do 5 going forward rather than just saying honorable mentions and enumerating them because it just keeps it cleaner, I think. So from 10 to 6, Meechin, Chelsea Green, Santos Escobar, Andrade, and Kevin Owens.
I like that we both had Michin and Kevin Owens in our honorable mentions. That's cool.
Meechin's been doing great work, man. I'd like to see her actually break a top 5 for me, but I think she would either need to be just more consistently in storylines or the champion just really be in that position. I just need
Yeah.
more presence from her. Not even like from her.
I
I need WWE to give her more presence. So
Yeah,
yeah.
honestly, if she was ever gonna break into my top five, it would have been for our last Fave Five because that was when we did it for Money in the Bank, and like her run at Money in the Bank was amazing. Plus, that
Yeah.
was also like the segment where she challenged for the NXT title, and that was great too. But I just had other people that I preferred. But that being said, I guess we can get into our actual Fave Fives now.
Yes.
My number five for WWE is the Wyatt Six.
Nice. Nice. Talk
Yeah,
about it.
I've really enjoyed everything that they've done. I think that Bo has been a great mouthpiece. We've already always known that he's been a really, really good talent. It's just been a matter of WWE finding what they wanted to do with him. And man, this feels like a jackpot lottery for him. It's unfortunate the circumstances that led to it, but in terms of finding a character that you know is going to get pushed, that you know is going to get featured, that you know is going to get him plenty of time on the mic, in the ring, everything. My God, this should have come to him long before his brother died. This is something that Bo Dallas as a talent, really deserved long ago, but now he's finally getting it, I would argue, far too late. And again, like the circumstances are just horrible. But then you also take into account, I think this is the best work that I've ever seen Joe Gacy do. I think Rowan is doing a great job. I think Nikki Cross has been toned down considerably, and that makes her far more tolerable to me. Dexter Loomis is doing great stuff with the group, and really, I just think that it's awesome that all 5 of these people are being given these opportunities. And I know that people are already kind of starting to get sick of them only interacting with American made, and I'm not yet. I think we could drag this out for another like 2 to 3 months, and I wouldn't get sick of it.
I don't even know if WWE plans to. I mean, they're planning to do an 8-person street fight, I think, next week.
Yeah.
I don't know how much further you could take it than that. I mean, but then again, maybe they have an answer. I will say I loved everything you had to say, and even catching up on Raw because I didn't watch it live last night. You know, Uncle Howdy saying he had a line in his promo to American Made that 375 days since my sanity was broken, since my world was taken from me, and it's been 375 days, at least at the time. I guess now we'd be in 376 since Bray Wyatt died. And it just when you make the connection of that reference,
Yeah.
it just kind of breaks you all over again.
Yeah.
But it's been great work, man. I agree with you. I think it helps that Nikki is toned down. I think Joe Gacy definitely fits well in small doses in a group. Um, and yeah, I just think everybody's kind of in their bag right now with this, which I think is a great thing to be. So yeah, I love that you showed him some love. So I guess now we can begin with me and my number 5 for main roster WWE,
Yes.
Jacob Fatu. Uh,
Nice.
I wanted to acknowledge this dude early because I love him. Like
Yeah.
I love. There really isn't much to say about him right now, but he's got presence. And I just love, like, dude, you want to talk about a guy that I think has been waiting for this WWE opportunity for God knows how long and just fucking kills it.
Yeah.
It's Jacob Fatu. Like, we were hearing about this dude in MLW. We knew, like, he was part of that lineage. And, like, I'll be honest, when I really didn't know him, I'm like, oh, cool. More nepotism, just banking on that Samoan lineage. Like, probably going to be like, okay, whatever. Because, Solo, I think Solo's doing the best he can. I don't want to be too hard on him, but he is kind of mid just in this role. We've been very honest about that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, maybe it'll just be another Solo. Dude, he might be one of the best in that goddamn family. Honestly, like he is insane. A guy that can be so menacing as to 1v1 Roman Reigns, but then also you could put him on WWE speed probably because he does a fucking whisper in the wind, and an actual whisper in the wind, by the way. No more dissertation shit. You don't have to look to Jeff Hardy to see that shit. Um, he's so versatile, and I'm already imagining world titles on him. I cannot wait for 1v1 matches against everybody. I mean, Randy Orton, a Sami Zayn, a Jey Uso, if they ever like mix it up, which I expect them to. Roman Reigns obviously is a big one. If he ever turns babyface, I could see him being a great babyface with how exciting he is in the ring. And honestly, even from the character, like I know he's like the closest to Umaga, like temperamentally,
Yeah.
because he just like, he's got that intense face and he's like, I love you, Solo. I love you. And it's like, fuck, man, Jesus.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I love all of it, literally. And I know I shit on him every chance I get, and I love it. And this is not an apology. An apology is not coming. But like Jacob Fatu could beat LA Knight next month, and I'd be like, oh, great, the US title is saved. Thank God. Really, to me, you can't push this man too hard. He's got all the talent in the fucking world. So yeah, just really love that.
Yeah. I
Really, really love it.
definitely sign on. All right. So my number 4, this is it's a little bit strange because this is somebody that's normally either not around or my number 1, but just because it's been a very few appearances and he hasn't really done much, it's Roman Reigns. I love Roman Reigns, but he's barely been around. He showed up for the SummerSlam match. I think he's made 1 or 2 appearances since then. He's been kicking a lot of ass, which is cool, but I want more talking. I love Roman Reigns heel promos, and even then, I don't know if they're even going to be heel promos anymore because they seem to have him. I think we saw a report that he was listed as a babyface internally or something like that. So I'm really just hoping that we get some kind of actual story about him making amends at some point. But still, just man, the aura with this dude is off the fucking charts. Good lord. Um, he's a fantastic performer overall. Just his ability to convey stories through his body language and facial expressions and his actions. It's just fantastic. It's amazing that the WWE tried so hard to make him something that he wasn't for so long. But at the instant that they just leaned into what he was really fucking good at, he just instantly became the guy without any pushback whatsoever and has been ever since.
I'm just glad they figured it out. You know, we could
Yeah.
have lived in a world where they didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's like knowing what we got, I can't even begin to tell you how
Dude,
fucking lamentable that
the
is.
thing is, you're right that they did figure it out and that there are universes where they didn't, but I'm still like bitter that it took them so long because like there are also universes where they figured it out in like 2017, 2016.
Very true. Very true. I mean, that's a worthwhile counterpoint.
Yeah.
Before we go any deeper, bro, it seems like the title of the video is live reactions, no mercy, Perez versus Jada Parker. So I don't know, and I refreshed and like it doesn't seem to be like on my end. So if you just want to go and correct that real quick, um, because yeah, even Kirby said a little something about it.
What?
So yeah,
That's really weird. Okay. Wow, that's really weird. It changed. Yeah, it changed. Okay, so let me fix that. That's really weird.
yeah.
I
But while you're
edited
fix,
it. Well,
yeah,
no, it's weird though. It must have been an issue with Streamlabs because I did edit it before we went live, and I'm not entirely sure what caused the problem. But regardless, you can continue. You can talk about your number four.
yeah, no. Well, I was just gonna say, just keep us on track and just put a pin in Roman Reigns. I love that you picked him, even though he really hasn't done like too much this grading period, just because his aura is just that undeniable. I mean, this dude got a fucking huge fucking pop putting a lay around his neck, you know, which again, like, I love that he and really the people around him are good enough to make non-championship like objects and artifacts like carry that kind of meaning to get that kind of pop. I mean, that's fucking huge. So, yeah, really enjoying the story. I do agree with you that I hope, you know, they write him as making amends because it would just be awkward for it to just be like, hey, cheer for me now, even though I used to be like a
There we
serial,
go.
you know, emotional abuser
I
kind of thing.
updated the
So,
title and description.
all right, let me refresh you. Okay, there we go, baby. Now we're cooking. Um, so yeah, I just second everything you said about Roman Reigns. So let's move on now to my stuff. Now we're
Dude, you
all
know
really
what's
good to
really
go.
weird too is if you actually look in our Discord. I mean, I'm not telling you to do this right now, but if you get a chance to look in our Discord and the wrestling discussion channel where I posted it,
Yeah.
it's the correct title. I don't know. Well, it had to be a Streamlabs problem. Streamlabs had to edit it or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
um,
fine, man. It's fine. You
yeah.
corrected it. That's all that
So
matters.
we're up to your number four.
Yes, yes. And my number four is main event Jey Uso.
Oh wow,
Um,
nice. See, I like
I
Jay. I like Jay a lot, but I don't like him like that. You know what I mean?
You know what? I understand that. You know, you're always gonna have wrestlers where it's like I like him, or I really like him, or I fucking hate him. Case in point, like Super Blue loves LA Knight. I can't stand him. He could leave the company tomorrow, and I'd be like, oh, cool, nice way to save money, WWE. And then there are other people where it's like I really like him, and I'm like, I don't see it. But with Jay, he does seem to still be really fucking over with crowds still,
Yeah.
and it's really gotten to the point where I just want that singles title for him. I really do. I'm like, you know, he's put the time in. He's been consistently fucking great. Um, and you know, that's why like it seems like they're hyping up him versus Braun in you know, for the Intercontinental title in the future. And like, cool. But like, you know, I love me some fucking Braun and you know, hint hint wink wink, you know, I fucking adore Braun Breaker. So I don't think it's gonna be the Intercontinental title for Jay. Really, now that they're doing the Sammy feud early, seemingly with Gunther, based on this past Monday, you know, or yesterday, last night's Raw. I still low key hold out hope that Jay could challenge Gunther on the road to WrestleMania, preferably WrestleMania because you know he's never beaten Gunther, and they have a little bit of a history on TV. So yeah, I just want to see Jay in the mix. I want to see him get that singles title. I think he is so outgrown being a tag team wrestler that again, the only partner I ever want to see him win tag gold with is Sami Zayn, and that's more for the relationship and the story than anything else. But that's the last tag title I ever want to see him hold. Either talk singles gold with me or don't talk at all. Like that. That's really where I am with Jay. I think he's very endearing. I think he's very likable on the mic. I like the intensity that it brought with Braun in their backstage segment last night. Yeah, and he's believable to me. You know, he's just believable that he can get that singles title. So let's get it. Main event Jey Uso. Yeet. So who is next on your list?
Next on my list at number 3, and this is where we kind of bring it back to someone you mentioned earlier. Number 3 for me was Jacob Fatu.
Wow, I love that you had him too, and even just a bit higher than me. I only went low because again, I was trying to be a bit conservative, but I love that you went all in. So talk about it.
Oh yeah, because like we've kind of talked about. I mean, you already brought up the point of like Solo and Tama got their asses beat by Roman, and then Jacob shows up and 1v1s him clean, right?
Yes, exactly.
And we've also kind of established before that Roman, what I kind of love about the way that WWE has booked Roman in the last 4 years is that he's not this like unstoppable machine. He's not Goldberg, like he's the face of the company, but he's not portrayed as somebody who's really hard to beat 1v1. He's portrayed as somebody who's really hard to beat because of how much help he has, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So going 1v1 with Roman and being able to beat him isn't like, oh my god, this guy's a world beater, but it's not nothing anyway. It's not something that's something that you should overlook either. It's still really cool because again, he's the face of the company. Um, and the guys that we've seen do it historically have been guys who have been guys that the WWE is very clearly actively interested in making look good, either because they're going to be challenging Roman and they want people to believe that they could beat him, or because they just are invested in making these guys come off as stars, right?
Right.
And that's Jacob, because obviously he's not going to be challenging Roman for any titles. Roman doesn't have any titles. So I really love that they went out of their way to really make Jacob look like a star, make him look like a beast, make him look like a monster. And I also, again, like you brought up the intensity, the umaga ness of Jacob. It's really good stuff. I love that he is a big man that can move. Also, really impressed by his weight loss because I think that there were even reports that he lost like 25 to 35 pounds um, just in between leaving MLW and showing up on WWE TV. And he looks incredible. He looks jacked. He looks incredible. He looks absolutely fantastic. And frankly, I thought he looked super badass even before the weight loss, just because like obviously the weight that he was carrying wasn't inhibiting him or preventing him from being able to move extremely well because he was moving really well in MLW. I've seen the highlights, like I'm not totally ignorant to it. But man, he has got a whole new level of intensity now. And he really just comes off like the guy in the new version of the bloodline. Like everyone sees him as the star of the new bloodline. Everyone sees him as like the threat to Roman's potential regaining of power. And I love that. I love that in the matter of just a couple months, he's gone from a guy that most people who just watched WWE didn't know who he was to now, like, he has basically supplanted Solo as the big scary guy in the background that doesn't talk much, but people are terrified of him going after the guy in power. You know what I mean? I just love that. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, he's so cool. I love it.
Bro, I'm glad you mentioned the weight loss very quickly because that's crazy that it was both him and Gunther that have gone down that path. Because Gunther
Gunther's
too,
was much more dramatic. Yeah, but yeah.
yeah. But I think the same sentiment of I didn't mind Gunther even when he had all the weight, just because I mean, fucking Gunther, and he could still work the way that he works. But his transformation, he went from like, yeah, this is like a big scary guy that would be a threat to a top champion and maybe get like a secondary world title to nah, like he's fucking him. Like he could drop that world title and then go and win the WWE title, and I wouldn't bat an eye. And
Yeah.
I really have to feel the same way about Jacob Fatu as well. Like both those guys, it's you really can't explain it. They just have that quality to me. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe you would call it an it factor. I don't know, but yeah, I love that you acknowledged him even higher than I did. And trust and believe though, he's gonna climb my list too when I see more from him. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So Next on my list, as we get now to my top three, coming at number three, Chad Gable. Um,
Oh, wow. Okay. I did have American Made as my number 6, effectively, the top of my honorable mentions.
I like Brutus and Julius, and Ivy's cool, but I think she's very limited in the ring. I think, you know, her being in a team and stuff, like, it's a good place for her, because what I've seen from her in singles, it's not like she's a shitter. I'm not trying to say that. It's just, you know, I think, you know, there's only as far as she can go. Whereas with fucking Brutus and Julius, the Creeds, you know, I could see them being a very successful tag team. But let's talk about the guy that actually made my list, 'cause I didn't acknowledge the faction. I only acknowledged one man,
Yeah.
and that is Chad Gable. um, I know that I made the case for Jay, and Jay absolutely deserves a singles title. But if we're talking at the very least a mid card title, I think the line for me starts behind Chad Gable. This dude, I don't know what the fuck he has to do to get some hardware by his damn self, but he's doing it. You know, like, yeah, I really like. I enjoy the Wyatt Six. And I think everything you said about them on your list was on point. I don't disagree with any of it, but I think dance partners are important, and I think Chad Gable and American Made, but Chad Gable and Uncle Howdy, like, he's just been a great dance partner for him. You know, the idea that it all really began with him, like, oh, looking like they killed Chad Gable, and then he's just been able to have these great fucking matches. You know, I mean, this is the dude. This is the dude where it's like, hey, if you want me to make you look as great as humanly possible, get in the ring with me. But we know in the past that's been a detriment for some guys, i.e., a Dolph Ziggler when we were really into him so many fucking years ago. And now I feel like Chad might be in a similar spot where it's like, man, he makes everybody else look fucking fantastic, and he looks fantastic, just just not fantastic enough seemingly to get that spot and to get those opportunities that I would love to see him
Wait a
get.
minute.
But
Is Chad Gable the new Dolph Ziggler? What the fuck?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm afraid of. Um, Also, just as a character, he makes me fucking laugh. He's such a fucking ham. Like, he really is the spiritual successor to Kurt Angle. They have been starting to get you suck chants more frequently with the American Made theme, which I think is fucking awesome. Um, and I mean, yeah, you guys know when it comes to pro wrestling, I fucking love douchebags. Believe me, there are more instances of that fact on this list and in some honorable mentions, or not on this list, but just in my fave fives and in some of my honorable mentions. So yeah, you're gonna see me really outing myself as well, John. You're kind of a piece of shit, and then I'm gonna be like, oh no, 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 not kind of, and that'll be my only correction on the record. So yeah, Chad Gable comes in at number three. Fucking love him. Let's get some hardware on him, and yeah, can't wait to see what's next for him. So who is number two on your list?
Oh boy, this is where we get into the fun stuff.
Okay.
You're gonna be surprised here, I think,
Okay.
because this is normally who you would expect to be at number 1 for me. Number 2 on my list is the Sky Pirates.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Uh, this, I think, the fact that they're at 2 and not 1 has more to do with just the fact that I felt like they've had very little to do lately. They've not really been featured. And normally Io would be my number 1 in WWE, but I feel like she has been kind of, you know, I don't want to say silenced or pushed down or anything, but I feel like she's just been kind of muted in a way. Like she
He ate the
hasn't
pin
been.
last night, bro. Like,
That's She's
yeah.
been doing that a lot lately. She's been getting a lot of, like, I shouldn't say that. It just feels like she's not being featured as heavily. I should just keep it at that. It just feels like she's not being featured as heavily. She hasn't been given as much to do. It's got a lot to do with the fact that she's in a faction that's just half off the fucking feet. Like, they're just on IR. Like, they're injured, and she can't do anything about that. She can't help that. She and Kairi have amazing chemistry as a tag team, but they can't help that they're being booked to lose.
Yeah.
And they also can't help that they are finally getting an opportunity to be a tag team right now at a time that Jade and Bianca are also a tag team. You can't expect them to beat them. Like, Jade and Bianca are like the most OP women's tag team imaginable. And as much as I love Io and Kairi and the Sky Pirates and, like, all of that, I think that for me to expect them to beat Jade and Bianca for the tag titles would be foolish, because
That's understandable, yeah.
Jade and Bianca are just OP as fuck.
Yes.
So it just feels like we're very much spinning our wheels for pretty much the entire rest of the calendar year, because I don't think Asuka's going to be back until at least January, if not later. When Asuka comes back, things might get a little more fun. To get him a little, a little more spicy. I do hope Dakota Kai returns at some point too, because I know that she's got an injury now too. I don't know. Do we know the what's going on with her? She doesn't have another torn ACL, does she?
Oh God, I hope not. I don't know what's going on with Dakota.
Um, yeah, man, she's got another injury. Oh, it's thank Christ, it's not a torn ACL, but she does have another knee injury. It is a torn meniscus in her right knee.
God damn it.
So I'm reading here. This article was posted on August 12th, and it said that she's expected to be out of action for 8 to 10 weeks. So let's just assume the worst and say 10 weeks. That would put her return timetable set to be around the end of August, like Halloweenish.
All
So
right.
in the meantime, though, while both Dakota and Asuka are on the injured list, we got Sky Pirates, and it's amazing. I love Sky Pirates, but like I said, unfortunately, we're getting Sky Pirates at a time that we're also getting like a generational overpowered tag team in Jade and Bianca. So Sky Pirates they've got like this ceiling above them where they're never going to be above a certain point because they're not going to win the women's tag titles, which also means that they have to be, in a perpetual cycle of like 50-50 booking, because if they just constantly beat everyone, then they're only going to get title shots. And if they get title shots, you would expect them to win at some point. It's not going to happen. So they have to put over some teams because those other teams have to be the teams that challenge for the titles and lose, so that when the Sky Pirates finally do get their shot at the titles, it means something, right?
Yes.
So we've got this fucking, what is it? Unholy Union, the team that lost the titles, or the team that originally won the titles off of Jade and Bianca, that just lost the titles back to Jade and Bianca. They're probably going to be challenging Jade and Bianca very, very soon because they just beat Sky Pirates on Raw last night. I expect Sky Pirates to be next in line, but I don't know that for sure. It could be the Pure Fusion Collective.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. So that's, I love the Sky Pirates still. I love them so much. And this entire segment has just been me justifying why they're not at one, because I just love them so much that they are number one in my heart. But I wish WWE would do more with them to justify me putting them at one.
All right, number two for me, Gunther.
Nice.
Yeah, I've made peace with the shitty writing for the angle for where he won the title, and now I feel like we're back in business. Him as world champion. I enjoyed Bash in Berlin. The dude's so fucking legit. I mean, he pretty much beat Orton with a sleeper just because he makes a sleeper look like fucking death. Love seeing him rock the suit with the world title when Sammy came out. I mean, see, that's how you subtly do the classism because Sammy looks like the everyman. I mean, you've said over and over, like the parallels to Mick Foley. And here you have Gunther rocking the fucking suit with the hardware to match. You know, that's how you do classism without talking about street trash and using like that kind of language. Um, this dude is the best of every goddamn era. I've said like I feel like he's a modern day like Bruno or Luthez or something like that. And yet I get bored as shit watching actual Bruno and Luthez. That's because Gunther's also the right mix of new school as well to really be exciting and captivating and engaging. And yeah, I'm just so happy that he's world champion. Looking at the man outside of the character, which has had questionable things put in his mouth by writing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the guy married Ginny. He's got a beautiful life. I think he's even a father, world champion.
Yeah.
And originally, again, he didn't even want to leave Europe. He's like, look, I'm kind of the kingpin of Europe. No reason for me to rock the boat and leave a good thing, which I totally get. And yeah, he probably would have had a great career if he just would have stayed in Europe. But now, like, he's making a legendary career to me because he bet on himself because he's like, all right, let's fucking do it. And you know what's funny? When Sammy cut that promo on Gunther and he talked about the great IC champions, fucking Randy Savage, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H. I'm like, already I feel like you could say Gunther's name alongside them and like maybe you'd get a little like little knee jerk reaction like what? But I think over time I really think over time people will come to accept it. And that just shows how great Gunther is. Like, he'll get there. I really believe he'll get there. I mean, this dude's an undeniable fucking talent. I think it's an honor to watch him. I think he's one of those guys that makes pro wrestling special. He's one of those guys when I say so often about how AEW or certain acts or certain incidents, make me embarrassed to say that I watch pro wrestling. I would say the two things that make me pump my chest out and say it are one, women's wrestling. I'd like to put the emphasis on Joshi again. I'm not really too keen on where Joshi is right now, but just women's wrestling in general, I think is still a very healthy scene and a
Yes.
very engaging, captivating scene. But then Gunther, guys like Gunther are the other reason.
Yeah.
Because, man, say it to his face that it's a fucking carny bullshit. He'll slap the taste out of your fucking mouth. So, yeah, Gunther is number 2 for me. I have 2 ideas who number 1 could be for you, but I want to hear you say it. So, who's number 1 for you,
Well,
partner?
here's an idea. Why don't you throw out your ideas and I'll just tell you whether you're right or not.
Okay, well, my 1A that I'm most confident in is Liv Morgan because I know you've really enjoyed her work.
And right off the bat, you nailed it. Yeah, it's Liv.
Yeah, there you go. Talk about it.
Well, yeah, man. She's been one of my favorite acts in the entire company since her return from injury, where she started the whole Liv Morgan Revenge tour. It was I thought that it was unfortunate that she initially took out Rhea, that Rhea legitimately got injured from that segment, but that turned out to be a blessing in disguise because she carried that program on television for the entirety of Rhea's absence and basically built it up to the point that when Rhea did return, I mean, we knew it was going to get a huge pop regardless, but Liv's acting in that moment was S tier. And she sold it so well that I think that she helped Rhea to get even more over than she otherwise would have. Liv has been doing an amazing job of doing great heel shit, like, depriving the audience of what they want. They want so badly for Rhea to hit Dom with a riptide, and Liv has deprived people of that several times. Liv's delivery on promos has been fantastic. The work that she did in the mixed tag match on Bash in Berlin was fantastic. I just think that she is really in a special place right now as an overall performer. I know that if we're talking strictly from an in-ring perspective, you could probably crank out a list of like 10 plus names that are better than her right now, but she has been steadily improving in the ring pretty much since her call up, I would say, years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And this is the best she's ever been in the ring. And I think that even though you could probably crank out at least 10 names that are better than her in the ring, I don't know if you could get to 15 because she is really good in the ring right now. And the in ring, I think, is the worst aspect of what she does. I think that she's really exceptional at pretty much everything else. She's a great promo, great character actor, charisma out the through the roof. She's clearly got a very strong connection with the crowd, and she really just kind of ticks off every box for me as far as what I look for in wrestling today, which is great storytelling, great acting, good promos, and people who are good enough in the ring to keep me engaged even if they're not amazing in the ring. I mean, if they're amazing in the ring, that's a bonus. I'm not trying to say I don't want people who are amazing in the ring, but if you're good enough in the
Right.
ring to keep me engaged, then that's a pass as far as I'm concerned. And she is. She's really good. So I love Liv Morgan, man. She's my number one in WWE right now.
Bro, I really think if they play their cards right, her and Rhea and Hell in a Cell could be match of the year. Because they really cooked at SummerSlam, and I still really enjoyed their matchup. But you know that SummerSlam was more of a means to an end to further the story, not the
Yeah.
end of the story.
Yep.
And I just feel like if you don't overbook, well, I think the only booking I would really do in Hell in a Cell is like find a way for Dom to get in, maybe like bolt cutters or whatever, and then that's when he eats a riptide like inside the cell. And maybe hell, with how good Dom is at bumping, I've always come to his defense that I do think selling and bumping is the best part of his fucking game. Even if Rhea would want to like throw him in the cell wall a couple times, I think you could get that crowd going fucking crazy and on the palm of your hand. But yeah, I think
This
outside of
is
Dom being
this is such a weird like place in WWE right now, because I feel like intergender wrestling would be at its absolute peak right now if it was allowed. Because literally, like,
Yeah.
I'm begging for Rhea and Damien, the Terror Twins, to go after the men's tag titles. They're definitely not going to do it. I think we've kind of seen the light, and it's probably going to be either Damien and Jay, or maybe they'll even pivot to Sammy and Jay going after the Judgment Day, and Rhea's just going to go after Liv, and that's just going to be it. But like, Damien and Rhea should absolutely have gone after JD and Finn, and been like, let's hit him where it really hurts. And like, Jay should have been like the guy that clears the ring area, like the ringside area, to make sure that there was no interference, rather
Yeah.
than actually being part of them. Like, I feel like they mishandled this in a way that isn't really going to hurt them that much, but in a way that hurts me. Because
Well, yeah, and especially because you've been exposed, and we as a podcast entity have been exposed to Lucha Underground, which was
yeah,
so liberal with intergender, and like everything you're talking about, they would have done. Like, and that's the thing. Like, so you can't even say, "Oh, that's implausible," when you know for a fact there existed at some point in time an organization like a show that would have done that exact thing. Now, that's not to overly fault WWE because we've always known the rules that they've played by, but you just see you're like me, where you have a lot of passion for possibility, and you see the possibility here, and yeah, it is going to hurt when you know that that's not going to be tapped into. um so I totally get it, man. And yeah, co-sign on Liv. I think she's fantastic. Honestly, I love her as a baby face, but I think even I have to concede at this point that being a heel is where her bread and butter is. And yeah, just
it's
what a
because
time.
she gives peak little shit energy.
Yeah, she does. She really, really does. Um, but ain't nothing little about my number one, because it's
Bronathan.
Braun fucking Breaker, baby. Can I just say again, and I know I said it the first time in a really shitty context that again desperately shows that I need therapy that I am not going to get. But I need to say again, men are so back. Like, holy fucking shit. This fucking unit. I mean, god damn. Like, dude, honestly, nobody was taking the number one spot from him as far as main roster WWE goes. But like, he solidified it with that 2 out of 3 falls match with Sammy alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch him from doing a moonsault off the barricade, and then hey, I'm gonna run with him, and then I'm gonna power slam him into an empty fucking chair that looks like he died. Um, what a mastodon of a man! Like, what else is there to say? I love how physical he is. I don't think, because I never want to be hyperbolic, and there can only ever really be like one Brock Lesnar. I think the term generational talent gets abused a little bit, mainly by heels putting themselves over, so it makes sense. I know MJF calls himself a generational talent a lot, but like Brock, I think genuinely was a generational talent. I wonder if one day we could look at Braun Breaker the same way, because I mean that dude, his intensity, his explosiveness, what he does in the ring, he is so fucking fun. And like he pops me hard. Obviously, if anybody's going and listening to live reactions, that's how I'm trying to put Fave Fives together going forward. Is like, yes, I love people, but in a given grading period, who has really earned my pops? Who has really gotten me to react? And that's why when I tease for you guys that my list does look a bit different in parts. That's why, because the more I think about it, these people came out of nowhere and they were popping me with a lot more consistently, maybe than they did other grading periods. But Braun still got it on lock. I even love how this dude talks. Like that backstage segment that he had with Jay. Like, he had this quiet menace about him where he said, like, I'm giving you one chance. Go pursue Dominic's sloppy seconds, drop out of the tournament. But the way that he said it, it's like, oh, he ain't fucking playing. You should. And Jay, of course, Jay doubled down, which of course I'm glad that he did. But yeah, like human me, the guy that stubs his toe and calls for a fucking audible when I'm play fighting with people, that guy is like, I don't know, Jay, you better listen to him. He'll spear your face out of your face. And so yeah, like I love it, man. When this dude becomes world champion, when this dude officially turns babyface, which I feel like it's going to be so fucking easy because people are already behind him when he does the dog bark and everything. Uh, he's getting ready to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So excited for Braun Breaker, excited for me to watch him do all of that. And yeah, just glad to see if Steiner's really going to thrive in WWE. So there you go. That rounds out main roster WWE for both of us. So I guess I will open up NXT. And welcome Hazardous. Very cool to have you here, especially with the time difference and everything. All right, so I'm going to begin NXT.
I think it's almost midnight in France.
I know, and he's choosing to spend it with us. I mean, what a fucking king. Um, so beginning with NXT from 10 to 6. Oh man, I really love putting this one together, I'll tell you.
Nice.
Number 10, Wendy Chu. Number 9, Ridge Holland. Yeah, the beatdown was that fucking good. For a split second, I thought about putting him in my fave 5 just because I really need to let you guys know, so I hold nothing back. I relished in that abuse.
Oh my
I
god.
relished in it. Watching Booker T be so nonchalant about a man's life being destroyed. Booker, I have never vibed with you harder in my life, except I wasn't nonchalant. I liked it. And not as much as Ridge, though, clearly. I mean, that man was looking at his hands like, you know what? I'm going to stop there before this becomes NSFW. Number 8 there, Trick Williams. 7, Lash Legend. 6, Tatum Paxley. So,
Nice.
who makes up your honorable mentions?
Well, this is I did mention earlier I was not able to narrow my honorable mentions down to just 5. I had to keep 6 in here. So, and technically it's 7 because one of them is a tag team. So working my way up from basically 11 or 10B, I guess if you want to look at it that way, to 6. Dion Lennox. I didn't want to cut him because I wanted to talk
Cool.
about, I really, really am excited about him. Tyson and Tyreek.
Yes, yes.
Tony D'Angelo made my honorable mentions this time around.
Nice.
Javon Evans.
Yes.
Wendy Chu is also in my honorable mentions.
Yes.
And finally, also in my honorable mentions is Trick Williams.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
we both had Wendy and Trick.
Number 5 for me, formerly beginning Fave 5 for NXT, is Tony D. You had him
Nice.
in your honorable mentions. I
Yep.
won't stay on him too long. I really enjoyed his Heritage Cup work. I thought he had the best match at No Mercy recently, which I think also really kind of was the
Yep.
final push for him to get in this spot. I think him and the family could do really well on the main roster, man. I know it's kind of faction heavy right now, but that's why I think they could do so well. You know, strike while the iron's hot, get all the
Bro,
factions
fuck
in
it.
there.
Put them on Raw and throw them in the middle of this feud between Alpha Academy and American Made.
That would be very interesting. I mean, bro, I don't know if it's still me, like when I remember Stardom and New Japan both in their glory periods, but I low key want WWE to kind of go that route in like the next 5 years or so, where they really are more faction heavy. You know, not that everybody has a home. I think you need lone wolves and certainly ones with more hair than Baron Corbin, but that's neither here nor there. But like, you know, I like the idea of like all these factions being around. I feel like there was a time where like a faction was such a rare thing, which is what made a team like the Shield so special. And now it's like people are really like banding together because, you know, strength in numbers. And yeah, I think in this time when factions are really normalized isn't the right word, but like far more conventional on WWE television than they've ever been. Yeah, this is the time for the family to make moves. So I do think, you know, it's time for Tony to move vertically to the main roster. I don't think he's ever going to win the North American title or the NXT title. Do I think his main event prospects are better on the main roster? I don't know. That depends. You know, we'd have to wait and see. But I just think him and the family could do a lot together on the main roster, so I'd like to see him called up. So yeah, I just want to give Tony some love. I've been loving his stuff on NXT. The guy's a hoss. I think his Heritage Cup stuff is low key a bit underrated. Would like to see him even get another one with it at some point, but we'll see what happens. Who is number 5 on your NXT list?
Tatum Paxley.
Cool that she made the cut for you because she topped my honorable mentions. So talk about it.
Yeah, I've just really, really enjoyed her work. I think she is kind of an interesting performer where she is kind of this, goth girl scary character, but there's definitely something different about her. Like we've kind of talked about this before because I think Meltzer tried to draw parallels between her and other like spooky gimmicks, and I just don't think that it's like the same basically. Um I love the doll gimmick. I love that she's like playing with dolls and like using dolls that look like her big next opponent. Like, you know, who was it before Kalani? I forget. It was a blonde.
Was it Izzy? Because she
No,
was
was it?
interacting with Izzy
Yeah,
a
you're
bit.
right. It was Izzy because she was in a little bit of a feud with Izzy actually. And then after she lost to Izzy, that was when Kalani came up to her and was like, "We're too old to be playing with dolls." And she kind of freaked out a little bit about
And it
that.
was like, bitch, what?
Yeah, and she switched over to a little doll that looked more like Kalani. And then that was when we got that match, the match between Kalani and Tatum. And I remember liking that match. And since then, we also had Lola versus Tatum. That was nothing, but still, Tatum's been doing a lot of cool character stuff with Kalani and now Wendy. And now, I think she and Wendy are going to feud, I think. Because didn't she lock Wendy in the Dragon Sleeper?
She did something to her. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a feud that I'm looking forward to. I really enjoy Tatum's work. I think that and I think that what I really haven't emphasized yet that I really wanted to coming into this is that I think Tatum is really underrated in the ring. I think she's really fucking good at wrestling. Like
Yeah.
surprisingly good for how little experience. Dude, she's wrestled fewer than 100 matches in her career.
That's pretty wild to know that she's wrestled that little and like is still just picked it up that quickly in the ring.
Yeah, like she's an NIL signing. She's one of the WWE, like one of the NXT 2.0 signings. Like she's part of
But
that
that
group, and she's already this good in the ring.
bro, the NIL signings are taking over, man. They're like,
Yeah,
what
they
the
really
fuck?
are, legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, one of them is our NXT Women's North American Champion,
Yeah. There you go.
and
Um,
another one of them is our men's NXT North American Champion, because I'm pretty sure Obo was one of them too.
yeah. And the thing is, like, Kalani's probably the weakest one, but I'm telling you, if you really would just give her more of a defined character, like, we're off to the races. Because in the ring, she's very solid. So, like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. Um, and keeping up that trend of NIL. Actually, I don't want to step on your toes. Do you have anything else you want to say about
No, no,
Tatum?
you can move on. Go ahead.
Yes, keeping up the trend of NIL signings. Jada Parker, fucking is number
Hell
4 for me.
yes.
Uh, I mean, I'm like 95% sure she's also on your list. And you've been like on her hype train before I was. I just very recently fully got on. So I won't speak too long, but what's not to love? The woman's a great fucking talker. She embodies her character. Like Meechin said in an interview that IRL, Jada's a fucking sweetheart. But like, and I believe it. I fucking believe it.
Yeah.
But like, as this character is somebody that's like, bitch, what you say? I'm like, she stands on it, man. Like, that slap, I don't think Jada knows how much that slap to Roxanne did for her. Because to me, that says, oh, she's about it kind of thing. It's not like you could just talk a tough game and then whatever. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. I love that. I'm telling y'all, maybe even more than Becky, because Becky, when she was the man very early on and she was attacking Charlotte and she just stopped giving a fuck, she had stone cold energy then and it catapulted her. But Jada's got almost like that 97 stone cold energy to her. She knows she's better than everybody. She wants to be the fucking champion and she's tired of being overlooked. I just wish that there was somebody on NXT that could like be her Brett, because Brett and Austin, that whole feud really
Right.
catapulted Austin. I want something to really catapult Jada.
I
I
think
really, I'm
Roxanne
telling you.
kind of at least tried to serve that at No Mercy.
And I think she did a decent enough job, but like really the closest thing, I mean, that street fight with Meechin was fucking great. You know,
Yes.
like that. I'm telling y'all, she's 97 stone cold, and she's a great fucking talker, and this and that. And I know there are gonna be some fans that like lived in that era. What is she making all the money? Where are her signs? Everything else. I'm talking about potential, and I'm talking about fucking attitude and swagger and believability. I believe this woman. Everything she does, like I don't question it. I'm like, yeah, that's Jada Parker.
Honestly,
That's
given that
Jada
she
Parker.
just failed to capture the World Women's Championship in NXT, I would love to see her eventually be the one to beat Kalani for that title.
Dude, yes. Yeah, I
Because
know.
I
I
know that it's
know.
not necessarily like viable, I guess is the word. Maybe it's not. It would be weird. I don't know how to just phrase this. NXT's not going to put the world title on somebody who's that green. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like it's going to go from Roxanne to Julia, and then probably if Julia loses it anytime soon, it'll probably be to someone like Stephanie Vicaire or fuck, what's that other one that they just signed? They just signed another woman that's like a big deal.
Did they?
Forget her name. It's one word.
Uh, fuck. I had no idea about this. Um,
I
yeah, I
forget her
don't.
name, and that pisses me off. There's another woman that they signed from another country, and I'm totally blanking on it.
Was it
And
Japan? Because I
no,
know.
no, no. See, this is how I know that you actually genuinely have no clue who I'm talking about because you don't even know what country. So I'm just gonna pretend not to worry about it, and just in a theoretical world, let's say maybe they do end up legitimately signing Miyu Yamashita. Maybe she's the one that beats Julia for the title eventually. But the idea being, it feels like the NXT World Title is kind of back in that place where it's not going to be held by like the really green women or the women who are like less incredible wrestlers anymore. So it's like we're gonna go Roxanne to Julia and then Julia to another really good wrestler. So like the NIL women, it feels like that's kind of what the North American Championship was made for, was to avoid another like, Mandy Rose situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And dude, that's the thing. I'm so excited about the women's North American title, and I know I come out every week when we talk about NXT, especially in like in review and stuff like that, and I say I see them as a future women's North American champion. I see them as a future women's North American champion. I'm gonna say about Jada Parker, just to bring it all full circle before I hand the baton back to you. I see her as an imminent North American champion. Fuck future, because future could mean anything. Future could mean a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever. No, fucking ASAP that shit. Because I'm telling you, I want to see how this woman carries herself as a champion. And I also say this, and this is going to be the last thing I say about Jada. I think she's very much going to be a Bianca Belair where her best years are on the main roster, not on NXT. I think that's really where she's going to thrive and
Dude,
cook.
yeah, I
So,
agree. I
so
fully agree.
now your turn, sir. Who is next on your list?
Number 4 on my list might actually surprise you because I don't know if you realized how high I am on this group. No Quarter Catch Crew.
Yes, yes. Welcome, my brother. It's beautiful to have you. Speak on it, please.
Yeah, yeah. I think honestly, it took me a while. Like this was like a taste that I had to kind of develop almost. Like I wasn't as into them for a while, but I think over the course of the last couple months, which is pretty much the time period that we're using for this, like our criteria, they've really warmed up on me, and they've really like earned my favor basically, between the weird like dynamic between Miles and the rest of the crew with like the hard of hearing jokes and stuff like that, and Charlie's weird sense of humor, Ren being added to the group, which has been an absolute boon both for the group and for Ren because she's getting more TV time and getting to really express her personality more. And bro, I cannot emphasize enough, Tavian Heights. Holy shit, I
Dude,
love
when he
this
comes
dude.
back, shit's gonna pop
Yeah,
off because he is thriving in that N1, bro.
I'm telling
Like,
you right now, I can buy him beating Oba.
see, now we're getting somewhere because I've been wondering who you buy to beat Oba. Because I mean, to say that you're high on Oba, I mean, again, we know about your burner account. That really clarifies a lot. So very interesting.
Well, because here's
Very,
the
very
thing. Here's the thing. We love Oba, and I don't want Oba to lose the North American title before he wins the world title. Just to make that clear, I want Oba to
yeah.
be the second ever double champ like that in NXT. His first ever being Keith Lee. Um, but if NXT decides to be like, no, we don't want double champs, we want to have a clean break, and they have to pick someone to beat Oba, Tavion might be at the top of the list for me right now.
Yeah. That's
Because
crazy, bro. I
well,
love that
because
though.
here's the thing, dude. He is big enough. He's not as big as Oba, but he's big enough. He's an athletic freak. He's got the amateur. I don't think he has an Olympic background, does he? But he has the amateur background. And
Yeah.
the tour of Japan is like, ah, there's like a certain level of like kayfabe that you can be like, this dude did a tour of Japan and it changed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, you could also, I mean, fuck kayfabe, it kind of did. because like the dude got super fucking over in Japan, and he was putting on great matches in the N1 from what I understand. I've seen some highlights, and he looked amazing. The crowd loved him. He got a move. He was actually given a move by Marufuji, I believe it was, that
Holy
he could
shit.
come back with and use as his new finisher and potentially win the title with. So like, yeah, like they could genuinely do that, and I wouldn't be that upset about it. The only thing I'd be upset about is them having Oba lose that title before he wins the world championship. That's the only thing I'd be upset about. But like, if you're gonna have him drop that North American title before winning the world title, to me Tavion Heights is like the guy to do it right now, as far as I'm concerned. And
Yeah.
yeah, the No Quarter Catch crew absolutely are one of my favorite acts on NXT TV right now. They're one of the one of the acts that definitely makes me like perk my ears up and really pay attention when they're on my TV.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love how into them you are. Again, welcome, brother. We are so happy to have you. Because this was a case where I feel like I was into them before you were. And you know, it's always nice when the shoe's on the other foot because you're a great scout for talent, but I'm like, I can see things too sometimes, maybe.
I
Um,
also I came across the name of the woman that they signed.
okay, who is this?
Delta.
Sounds is it like European? Is this like Germany? That they
She's
got because
Australian.
interesting. Interesting. So we're going back to that Aussie wrestling scene. Hey,
Yes.
low key underrated,
And the thing
honestly.
is, dude, like there are people who are like more in the know than me who have said shit like, "Oh man, everyone's talking about Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. Delta is gonna bitch slap this division." Like people are talking her up like she is legit as fuck.
They better be careful because that just raises my expectations exponentially.
Yeah.
When you're saying shit like that, you better back it up, Australia. I don't know. You got crazy fucking wildlife. I ain't fucking with
She
you,
is
but
on
we'll
the
see.
older side though. I will say that. She's almost 40 from what I understand.
Almost 40. Dude, when you said, okay, just to clarify, when you said on the older side, I'm like, oh, what? Is she like 35? But when you say
Unless,
almost 40 and
you
she's
know what?
coming in?
No, I take that back. I'm looking at the wrong Delta. I was looking at when I Googled Delta wrestler and two different results came up. There was one for an Australian wrestler, one for a Mexican wrestler. Apparently, there's a Mexican wrestler named Delta who's 39. That's my bad. She's the Delta that WWE signed is not that. She literally only debuted at the end of 2020. I can't imagine she's anywhere near that old. She's probably in her 20s if I had to guess.
I'd love to get a confirmation on her age, but I don't know if like that's immediately on handy or if it would take a while. But I know we're in the midst of 5v5, so let's just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah,
So number 3 for me, Roxanne Perez. Um, a bit of a demotion,
24.
just get
She's 24.
amazing. Uh Roxanne Perez, who's also incredibly fucking young. I think she's only
22.
22. Yeah. Um, a little bit of a demotion from last time because I do believe I had her at 2, maybe even at 1 on NXT Phase 5 last time. Although I doubt number 1 because there's just a one person ruling the roost. I think you guys all know who that is. But I like to even feign suspense a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, I stand by everything. Amazing technical wrestler. She might be AJ Lee light, sure, but you know, sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with AJ Lee? You know, I do really, really love her in ring work. And I thought she did great with Jada at No Mercy. I wanted that match to go a bit longer, but that's not on either woman. If anything, that's a compliment to both women because I really felt like they were cooking. And I'm like, you can do better than this. This isn't the best match that you guys can have. Uh her stare down with Julia, put that shit on a poster, and that better headline the next PLE for NXT.
Halloween Havoc.
Because fuck Ethan
That's in,
Page.
dude. That's in almost 2 months though. They're gonna have to really drag that out.
I hope they can. Well, dude, here's the thing. You already had a great idea for how they could drag that out in the Discord, which is why everybody should subscribe to the Discord so they can experience your succulent brain in real time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Uh, where you talking about like Julia just I love me. Where Julia would just be facing like all these people and really getting built up. Like I agree completely. And then with Roxanne, like get her in the ring with Sol Ruka. I'd love to see what those two could do together. And really thinking about Roxanne with a lot of these NXT Fave Fives, I've talked about the future. You know, I talked earlier about Tony D'Angelo and the family. What could they do on the main roster? I'll tell you what Roxanne could do on the main roster: win fucking titles, be fucking amazing, dude. It really, and I want to say this too
you
as
think
an aside because
Roxanne would stand a chance against Nia?
I mean, she isn't like most girls. I don't know. You know, I think she is very tiny, which means if Nia gets that annihilator, she probably dies. But she's also very quick, so maybe she just avoids it the whole time. I don't know.
I'd love for a Roxanne Liv match, but I feel like Liv is going to lose the title long before Roxanne gets called up because I've got Liv losing the title at Bad Blood.
Well, bro, here's what I was gonna say, and I really did just want to say this too, because I don't think I gave her any love on my main roster list, which I mean, to be perfectly honest, that is on me. I'm just still waiting for her to like be dominant again, like really like hyper present. But I genuinely do believe Rhea is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. And she's so consistently fucking good. Like the idea that people didn't really seem to be thinking about her, you know, versus Julia, because I know you said you saw a lot of people just immediately pair her with Io, which is fine. But like, you know, I personally think again, Julia would have a better match with Rhea than she would with Io. I feel those styles are far more synergistic. Same way with Roxanne. I feel like Roxanne and Io would cook the same way Lyra and Io did, you know, kind of similar to that type of matchup. But I think Roxanne's best matchup. I think Rhea is a lot of people's best matchup, and that's the highest compliment I could give to Rhea. She's just that fucking good in the ring.
They're not stalling, dude. They're not gonna wait until a Halloween Havoc. DBK just posted in Wrestling News. NXT sources expect Julia versus Perez for the NXT Women's Championship to take place on the CW debut episode of NXT, which is, I believe, October 3rd.
Oh wow, so like a month away.
Oh, no, it's October 1st. It's October 1st. It's the same show that Trick's getting his rematch on.
Holy shit. Okay. Damn. All right, let's do it.
So they're just going right into that shit, dude.
Bro, why am I thinking there's going to be a double title change on that show? Because you got to get that fucking title off Ethan.
100%.
Let's get it back on track.
Yes.
And like, sorry, Roxanne, but you know what? Knowing it's that soon, yeah, let's just switch gears. Get her to the main roster.
Honestly, dude, here's my thing. I kind of want Julia to beat her for that title, but I want her to turn around and challenge her rematch right away and just do that at Halloween Havoc.
Dude, yeah, and honestly, do I want the rematch just be another singles match, or should it have a stip to it? I kind of want.
I was even gonna say maybe like throw Vicari in there, make it a triple threat.
That might be too much too soon for Vicari for me. We'd have to see. We'd have to take the temperature on that. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm psyched. Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking go. But yeah, love Roxanne. I'm gonna hand the baton back to you though. So, who's next on your ranking list?
Number 3 for me is Jada Parker.
Speak on it, man. Speak on it.
I mean, you already said most of what I would have said otherwise because, yeah, she's awesome. Love her confidence. Love her style in the ring. She's different, man. She doesn't wrestle the same style as everyone else, and I really appreciate that. I think that's one of the things that really led to us loving Swerve as much as we do.
Yes.
I really, you know, it's interesting because when we see like a Taguchi or you know, oh god, I forget the name of the woman in TJPW that does the ass-based offense. But regardless, when we see some people do the ass-based offense, it really annoys us. Rika Tatsumi, that's her name. It's frustrating. We hate it. But like Jada Parker's finisher and one of her signature moves are literally ass-based offense, and yet it works really fucking well because of how believable it is. And I'm not just saying that because of the size of her ass. I'm not literally like trying to say anything about that. It's because she fucking stiffs people with that shit. Like when she does the sit down drop in the corner, that looks very similar to me as far as efficacy goes to the Sasha Banks knee drop in the corner. It basically has the same effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
definitely.
her finisher looks more like a true hip attack than just about anything I've ever seen Taguchi or Tatsumi ever do in their fucking career. Hell, it looks more like a hip attack than anything I've ever even seen Toni Storm do in her career.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's got nothing to do with the actual physical appearance of the ass. It's literally like Jada just actually makes her offense look effective. It's like we've talked about how like Mayu Iwatani makes a frog splash look like it could be a finisher because of she just makes herself, even though she's like this 110-pound, 115-pound woman, she makes herself look so heavy when she lands on you with that frog splash. Yes. That's what Jada does with those hip attacks, man, and with that sit down splash in the corner. It's crazy how effective those moves look, and it's like the impact. It looks like it could finish someone off for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Definitely.
and I love her promos too, man. Her promos have really won me over the course of the last few months. I think the first time that she cut a promo that I was like, holy shit, she can't just cut a wrestling promo. She can talk, was the build up to the North American Women's Championship match when they were doing the ladder stuff.
Yes. Yes.
That, like, I think it was when it was like all six of them were like sitting in chairs talking shit about each other. Her promo in that was like, wow. Like, I was like, damn, she's really good at this.
Dude, she did an interview hyping up No Mercy with like this I guess this wrestling podcast or whatever. And they asked her about the slap. And the guy was like, you know, your hand has got to be feeling that. That was a hard slap. And she's like, not at all. Not at all. I'm used to it. And he's like, used to it. That's why it's like he kind of popped for that. He's like, that says a lot. I think he hasn't said that, or even he might have even straight up said that's horrifying. But like,
I
yeah,
love that,
that
dude.
that's just her fucking character, bro.
Dude,
Because
and I
yeah, one of
love that too because like even in that interview, when Roxanne sat down and took the place of the interviewer, a normal person would be intimidated by that. A normal person would be like, "Oh shit," like uncomfortable. Jada was completely unshaken. Like,
dude, she tweet. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Jada tweeted because I always like looking at people's Twitters like after an impressive like pay-per-view match or whatever. She tweeted about that slap at Roxanne. You see what happens to people when you interrupt grown people talking, and it's like, God damn.
are you
Yeah,
good, man?
she was.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm good. Yeah, she yeah, just for her to like threaten, like, yeah, you see what happens when grown people are talking, and then just like, yeah, just like not even apologizing, doubling down on it. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. I was
God damn.
yeah, that was really cool. And then I just love that she literally said to her face, "I'm gonna slap the taste out of your mouth." And then Roxanne, in all her hubris, said, "I'd like to see you try." And she couldn't even finish that sentence because she was too busy eating hand. It's so good.
I mean, quintessentially fuck around and find out. And
100%. And it was perfect.
yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I'm telling you. We both see a lot in Jada Parker. You saw something in her before I did, but now we're both kind of seeing it.
You know what, though?
And
I got to give credit to Sean. Sean saw something in her before either one of us did.
damn, well, hey, there's a reason I've consistently called that man a king. So fuck yeah. I'm so excited for her on the main roster though, because I reiterate and I double down. That woman's story is really gonna begin on the main roster because she is gonna turn fucking heads. Like, what's so funny, dude, is Rhea has got this aura about her and this confidence. And again, I keep going back to her because I really do look at Rhea as one of the best in the world right now. I think you put Jada in the ring with Rhea, and
Yes.
it's like talking wise, especially, and like I believe it.
Oh.
Like I believe it. I don't think Jada's gonna back down, and that's what I mean about like a 97 Stone Cold
And dude,
because
the crazy thing
yeah,
is because we kind of talked about on Week in Review this week about how like Jada is like bigger than you might think. Jada is literally able to look Rhea in the eyes, like
yeah,
face to face, stare down. You'd think because Rhea presents herself in a way that makes her seem fucking huge. She's 5'7".
yeah.
So is Jada. They're both 5'7".
Dude, I'm like because again, you've got these people that are badasses too, but Jada Parker isn't a badass. She's Jada Parker. And like good
She
luck.
is a badass though.
She is, but I'm saying she's something beyond badass because with other
Right.
people it's like
Like
you can
on a
say the
scale
right.
from 1 to 10, where 10 is badass, she's a like a 12, which is the Jada Parker range.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. You can have the look and you could say the right things. Jada just lives that shit. Cause that's
Yeah.
the thing, bro. When you're like honest, just as like on a human level, there's really nothing unique like about her look, which isn't to say like she's ugly or anything like that. I vibe with it, okay? But like, I'm just
I think
saying
she's
that
got a
it's like
unique build for pro wrestling, to be fair.
I would agree with you there,
I
but
don't know if we've
I
ever
yeah.
seen a woman built like her in pro wrestling before. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I can see why you'd say that. I guess what I'm trying to articulate and flailing and failing at it is I just think there's something unspoken about her. It's not
Right.
about appearance or anything else. It's auratic, you know. It really is an aura that she
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
and Yeah, I'm telling you, put her in there with Becky, put her in there with Rhea, put her in there with Io, put her in there with Bailey, put her in there with anybody. She's not going to look out of place. And if anything, and this is really where I'm talking my shit. I would say for most women on that roster, she's going to force them to up their talking game. Like you better bring your best because I'm bringing me, and that's been like fucking more than good enough the entire time I've fucking been here. So I love that you have her so high. She's probably going to climb higher for me, for both of us, really. I wouldn't even be surprised if she got number one on one of our lists in one of these installments. It'll probably take some time, but I could see her getting there. So
Yeah.
good shit. Good shit. Jada Parker's got next. Number 2 for me, no quarter catch crew.
I
Um,
love that we both have them on our lists now.
I mean, I pop for you having them because I'm like, huh, just you wait, bud. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Um, I love this group. They make me laugh and they're amazing at wrestling. Fine. Like, see, do you understand? It wasn't that hard. You've got these people that just want to get laughs like, oh, isn't it a gas? But they can't throw a fucking hip toss. So I'm annoyed. Maybe learn to do both. If you wanted to just do comedy, there are things called comedy clubs. Take your sorry ass over there. I want the wrestling first, and then I want, the humor in the character because I think not every character has to be funny. Sometimes characters I find very compelling really aren't funny. But when it comes time for the bell to ring, be able to fucking work. And these people obviously do because they're about that Graps life, and they're fucking hilarious. Love Charlie Dempsey. I love that he has a very different, seemingly, sense of humor than his dad. Even though William could be hilarious at times, I still laugh to this day when him and Goldust had to do that like Las Vegas like Raw Roulette matchup, the second one they ever did, not the first one. And Regal got really into being Goldust, and he chomped right in Goldust's face, and then Goldust just popped him with the brass knucks. Hilarious. But Charlie, yeah, he gets a lot of laughs out of me. Miles is great. I'm so excited for Tavion to come back. And you already said, like, Ren, I love the word that you used, that she was a boon for them because it was great for them and great for her because she gets more TV time, gets to practice on the mic and all that other stuff. It's just, it's just really, really good shit. And yeah, I'm really excited about them. I don't know what the future holds because, with Oba as North American champion, ain't no fucking way Charlie's getting that title. But I'll tell you what, if Trick regains the NXT championship and Charlie wanted to take a crack at Trick, I'd be very intrigued by that program. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd be here for that. I think Miles and Tavion, when Tavion comes back, they should definitely be on the short list for tag team champions, especially now that it's back on the fucking dweebs, who I feel like should be beatable by anyone. Uh, and Ren, when Ren gets up there and she's ready, that Women's North American Championship will be waiting for her. But I want her to get a lot more seasoning. She is the one I'm most relaxed about. I am very comfortable with her in this right now. With Charlie and Tavion and Miles, though, it's like, let's get to work. So I think we all know who number one is for you. I think we all know who number one is for me. So let's not make any pretense about it. Talk about our God King Obafemi.
Can I talk about my number two first?
Oh, yeah, I jumped the gun. I'm sorry. Yeah, who is your number two first? Jesus Christ. Who's your number two?
It's Roxanne.
Wow, she made it that high for you. Wow, I thought I was like the bigger Roxanne fan, but apparently not this quarter. All right, what got her to number 2 for you? What changed, or what
Uh,
happened this quarter?
I think I think a lot kind of clicked for me with Roxanne because it's like I I think the match with Jada and then the Julia debut put a lot into perspective for me. Um, dude, she's 22 years old
Yeah,
and she has been tasked with basically carrying the women's division in NXT since what Stand and Deliver was when she won the title,
yes,
and she's been putting on absolute bangers of matches at every PLE, every title defense, and she's being trusted by the higher ups to be the first big match for Julia, which is going to be, you know, it's Julia. She's we literally, dude. I don't know how much time you spent in the Discord today, but there was a
yeah,
report posted in Wrestling News. Julia is set to become the face of the NXT Women's Division moving forward. Julia will
Oh yeah, we
remain
done knew that.
Julia will
Yeah.
remain a key fixture on the NXT roster for the foreseeable future. So like they're all in on her, dude. Like they are 100% fully invested in Julia being their like next Asuka, basically. Because like when Asuka was there, she was the face of the women's division to the point that like she held that title for over a year, I believe. She was, main eventing house shows and stuff. I don't know, did she ever main event a PLE or a pay per view or anything like that? I don't remember. A takeover. I don't know if she did or not, but she was on every single one of them while she was champion. And like, yeah, she's like that's where they see Julia. That's where they want. You know what?
Yes.
Another comparison, a better comparison maybe would be Bailey. I think they want Julia to be their next Bailey because when Bailey was there, she was like literally like it was like there was like a whole era where it was like her and Finn Balor at the top running things, doing main eventing house shows together, like main eventing, like co-main eventing every pay-per-view, everything. Like, yeah, that's what they see in Julia. They want Julia to be on that level. And I think Julia's capable of it. But my point is it comes back to Roxanne because they thought that Roxanne would be the best way to sort of introduce Julia to the NXT universe. And like I think a lot goes underappreciated about Roxanne because she is a heel and because she is kind of playing this like you little shit character. And also, like, I personally have been overlooking a lot of really amazing things about her because I do get annoyed by the AJ Lee promo stuff. But like there's so much more that's good about her than that. Dude, think about Julia's debut on No Mercy. Think about what was Roxanne doing in that moment.
Clutching her title like her life depended on it.
Dude, that's so good because that sells the threat so well. And between that simple little action and like the facial expressions, Roxanne is an extremely understated character actor. Because
Yes.
we've seen Roxanne before she was a heel, and we know that like she's really good at being like a super sweet baby face, like adorable, let me protect you baby face type thing. And now she's like this little shit heel, like almost along similar lines to Liv Morgan as far as like I'm gonna talk my shit and then run away as soon as the going gets tough kind of thing. And I think that maybe it's because I wasn't watching NXT when this transformation was happening. I kind of overlooked how significant of a change it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, man, Roxanne's range is kind of incredible. She's kind of
Yes.
got some like early Jericho vibes in that sense because we've always praised Jericho for being able to adapt. Like that's kind of been his main thing is that he's always been able to adapt to changing circumstances, changing surroundings and stuff. I think that Roxanne kind of has that too because even like the Jada thing, like Jada's slap was amazing, obviously, but like would it have meant as much if Roxanne wasn't so arrogant, so hubristic, so defiant? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I credit her for how she sold it,
Yeah,
facially and everything else. 'Cause I feel like
yeah.
anybody else would have
She
stayed
sold it like
seated.
death.
Yeah. I
And
think
that's
she
another thing
yeah.
is like she does sell. And that's like a lost art in today's wrestling world.
Oh my god. I feel like a lesser performer, dude, they would have sold the slap, but they would have sold it like they would have stayed in their chair. There would have been like that whiplash on the face, but then they would have glared at Jada, whatever. Roxanne, she practically bumped for that slap. Like, and that's great. That's great because her promo style as a heel might be the weakest part of her game,
Yeah,
but I think
I
she
think that it
understands the
is.
essence. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
that specifically her on the mic as a heel is probably the weakest part of her game, but that's only because of the fact that she's just copying someone. Similar to like I don't like LA Knight promos because he's just doing a rock impression, Like
Yeah.
that said though, promos are supposed to be LA Knight's strong suit.
Yeah.
Promos can be Roxanne's weakest link because she does everything else so fucking well.
She understands the essence of being a heel, man. I always got to make my challenger look good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same way. Think about the Lola Vice feud when like she ate the first back fist from Lola on the
Yes.
build up. she was knocked
Death.
out to the point where Lola was able to walk away with her title
Yep.
and give it to Ava.
Yep.
Like, Roxanne just gets it. I'm only as good as the people I fucking beat.
Yep.
So on the road to my title defenses, I'm gonna make this person look like they're the one.
Yeah.
Everyone is the one. This way, when I fake you out, no, the one was me all along, bitch. And like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. She gets it. I wish, like, unironically, her being 22 and being so good at what actually matters at being a heel, I wish so many grown men, and I know they'd laugh because, internalized misogyny and the nature of the business and all that, but I would tell them, study Roxanne Perez. You want to know how to be a fucking heel? Study Roxanne.
Yeah.
She gets it. She fundamentally fucking gets it.
Yep.
I love that you gave her flowers like this, man. I did not expect this.
Also, I
Um,
love that we both had Jada and Roxanne on our lists, with Roxanne ahead of Jada back to back, and No
yes.
Quarter Catch Crew, like all grouped in the middle there like that. It was like 4, 3, and 2 were those three in different orders, but we consistently both had Jada and then Roxanne. It's just that you had No Quarter Catch Crew above them, and I had No Quarter Catch Crew below them.
Yes, yes, yes.
So now we can talk
Um,
about Oba.
yes, yes. Um, God.
Dude,
God. That's
yeah.
that's literally all I have to say.
Yeah.
What else is there to say? Like, God. He keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
That triple threat was God tier, and I really give a lot of that to Dijak. Damn you, wrestling gods, for not giving us Dijak versus Oba one-on-one.
Oh,
But as far as like just one-on-one matches, this is his best defense.
yeah.
I loved him and Tony working together. I wouldn't even mind a rematch, truth be told. But you know what? Sometimes all you need to do is one and done, and don't ruin the magic. And they definitely made magic at No Mercy. I very much appreciated it.
I think what I loved the most about this match in particular, and like the story that we got told from the Wes Lee match to this match, is like by the end of the Wes Lee match, Oba was gassed, Oba was blown up. This
Yeah.
match, Oba got stronger in the end game of this match.
Yes. Yes. Dude, I cannot tell you what a relief that is to me because I'll be honest. When we saw him get gassed in the West match, I still loved him to death, but like that was the first time I was like, okay, do we need to pull back a bit maybe? But then seeing him able to have that match with Tony and then still look good by the end of it, not nearly as blown up. I'm like, oh man, like, okay,
Yeah.
we are so back. We are so fucking
Because dude,
back.
here's the beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Oba versus Wes Lee was the last NXT PLE before our last Five Fave Fives.
Yes.
So it's like we're basically doing this in chunks. Like last time we did this was fresh off of Oba West, and now we're doing it fresh off of Oba Tony D. And it's like we literally are like, if you just follow this series, you're getting to hear us go from being a little concerned about Oba's conditioning to now we're over the moon because Oba showed like, oh my god, he actually like not only did he work on it, but he turned it into a strength.
Yes. Which, what does that say about him that he was cognizant where he needed to improve and he went out and he did it?
Yeah.
Like, this dude's ready to make fucking money. He went to the back and maybe Sean said something to him, maybe somebody said something to him, or maybe nobody even said anything to him and he was just that self-aware. And he worked on it because he said to himself, I could probably still coast on this and be rich, but I want to be super rich. And like he went and he worked on it. And I'm like, God damn, this dude is so ready to run the fucking game. Because I'll tell you, man, like, that's the big thing. And they say it all the time. It's what are you doing between shows? How are you working on yourself between events? Are you practicing promos? Are you working on a character? What are you doing? Oh, but in the gym, he's up in that cardio. He's like, nah, one day they may put me in an Iron Man match. I don't fucking know. I want to be able to go 30, maybe even 60 one day. Who fucking knows? Nobody can say, but I want to be ready for it, whatever it is. And he is. Like, God damn. God fucking damn. What a specimen this man is. I mean, yeah, he's number one for you too. So God, I mean, anything you want to say, like I'm good. Just put every title on him. Literally, your burner account. You couldn't have been more correct. Just put every fucking title on him. Even the women's title. Fuck him versus Roxanne would cook. I dare anybody to tell me fucking otherwise. So yeah, man. Anything you want to say about it to kind of round this out?
I think that we've praised him plenty over the course of the last few Five Fave Fives. So this is this is plenty, I think.
But counterpoint, can you really praise a guy like Oba enough?
Technically, no, but within reason, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But no, in all seriousness, fair enough. Let's move on. You get to open, I believe, because now we are on Stardom. This should be interesting because this was. I'll tell you right now, bro. So much of this was driven by the 5 star for me,
Yes.
and I don't know if
Well,
you were the
yeah,
same way.
because the 5 star, literally the entirety of the 5 star took place within this grading period, so you'd hope.
Yeah. So please, my friend, go first.
Okay. Well, my honorable mentions at number 10, Mayu Iwatani. 9, Natsupoi. 8, Saya Kamitani. 7, Micah. 6, Starlight Kid.
All right. 10, Risa Serra. 9, Mayu. 8, Meg Serra. 7, Hazuki. 6, Saori Ano. So,
Nice.
who is number 5 for you, good sir?
I don't know if this will surprise you or not. I'm wondering if you might even have her in your Fave 5. Number 5 for me is Xena.
Cool. Cool. I like it.
I
Like it a lot.
actually, I gotta confess, I actually made a last second edit. I originally had Starlight Kid at 5 and Xena at 6, but I swapped them right before we did this because I really thought about how engaged I get with their matches. And I know me, and I know that I get more engaged with Xena matches than Starlight Kid matches. I feel like Starlight Kid matches, I do admittedly struggle to stay engaged with. I get more engaged when she's like teasing the leg destroyer, and when there's like high speed action going on, I'm more engaged then. But with Xena matches, I feel like I'm engaged for pretty much the whole thing. Um, so I just switched them, and I have Xena here at 5 because I just feel like when her matches are on, I'm paying attention, and I think that that means a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, Xena is. I mean, God, the improvement of her from her last year run to this year run is incredible.
Yes.
Not to say that she was bad last year. She was good last year too, but she's great this year. She's amazing this year. She's fantastic this year. I feel like she's gone from like a 7.5 to like a 9. You know what I mean?
I agree completely. Yeah. Yeah, I agree 1000%.
Yeah. So like her intensity, I feel like she's gotten faster this year. Her intensity is up. Yeah, man. I think she's just really found a special place mentally that she's in this year. She's in the zone. I've really enjoyed her matches this year, and yeah, that's about all I can say. 'Cause she's really cool, man. I like her a lot. I hope to see her in one of the major U.S. companies at some point sooner or later. And I only say one of because just going off vibes, I feel like it's more likely she ends up in AEW than WWE, but I would absolutely love to see her on WWE or NXT. But I just feel like because she's in Stardom, and it seems like Stardom and AEW are kind of tight now, more likely that she ends up in AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, you already know how I feel, so I ain't gonna say
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, to start my stardom list, man, I'm excited for this. Some of you might be surprised that I have her this low, actually, given how much I raved over her in the 5 star. But number 5 for me is Tomoka Inaba. Um, really, really big fan of hers. Don't let the number fool you. I think she's got a hell of a bright fucking future. I love her in the ring. I love her intensity. I love her believability in the ring. She's very credible with her graps. Some would even say real
Real
graps.
graps.
I'm them. I'm some. Me and Kirby, and I'm sure you too. Yeah, I think she's just fantastic. I know she's still the JTO kind of world champion. I don't know if we know for sure. Like she's also like got a bigger deal with Stardom now, and she's gonna be on Stardom more regularly. I'd fucking love that. I think yeah, she'd be a real asset to them. If she ever really fully committed to Stardom as her new home, I see her even as a future Wonder of Stardom champion. To be quite honest with you, I think she's that good. Really enjoyed her in the 5 star. Thought she had some great fucking matches. Loved seeing her make tap out. That was one of the highlights of my 5 star. And yeah, can't wait to see what she does in the future. So who do you got now at number 4, partner?
Number 4 for me is Momo Watanabe.
Oh, so the insensitive feelings hurt her. I guess, hey, now's as good a time as any. Fuck you, Momo Watanabe, but please go
I
on.
love it though because she's such an effective heel.
He is.
I hate that her most common heel work is cheating and getting away with it. But man, before that happens, her matches cook. Her matches are amazing. She is such a good worker. She is. Did you see any clips from her match with Mercedes Moné?
No, I have not.
Oh, that match cooked as well. And I think that we can kind of rope that into Stardom because Stardom is owned by New Japan now, basically. So the New Japan Strong show can kind of count towards Stardom, and that was on a New Japan Strong show. That was a good match, man. That was a really good match. I would even go as far as to say that was a great match. And Momo sold the moneymaker better than I think anyone ever has
Yeah.
because Momo is just built different, man. It's weird because like people I've been seeing people comment and insult Momo Watanabe for her build, for her weight, for as long as I can remember watching Stardom. And this is like the ultimate like she's like a female Chris Hero almost. Cause
Yeah. Yeah.
because I remember when Chris Hero was on the heavy side, he literally wrestled like a 2 or 3 hour long Iron Man match. Like it didn't fucking matter. Like his weight was it was purely like a cosmetic issue. Like people just didn't like the way he looked. It had no effect on his wrestling quality. It's the same fucking thing with Momo. She is an incredible wrestler. She is a fantastic athlete. And her endurance is never something that I would call into question. And I think that the only people who would call her endurance into question are people who are ignorant to what
Yeah.
she can do and what she has done. Because man, she is so fucking good at this. She is honestly, I think that if Stardom would just let her wrestle and not interrupt so many of her matches with the cheating garbage, she would have a genuine shot at being number one for me in Stardom.
Yeah. I actually agree with that 100%.
Because like mentally
Yeah.
healthy Momo before she betrayed QQ was closing in on it, man. She was getting there.
Oh my god. Bro, I mean, the year that, and I think again she was still mentally healthy Momo at this point.
Dude,
Or actually I think it was
she
just before, but
betrayed
yeah.
QQ, I believe, at the very end of 2021, right?
I believe so, yes.
So yeah, November of 2021, she was number 2 on both of our Fave Fives.
Yeah. Because she was just that fucking good in the
We had
ring and still
Mina
is,
at
but like,
1. We
yeah.
had Mina at 1, Momo at 2.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Because
that's
yeah,
how close
I
she
yeah.
was. That's how close she was. The very tail end of mentally healthy Momo managed to reach number 2 in both of our Fave Fives. That's how much we loved her at that point. And then she betrayed us.
I know. I know.
And she hasn't
Fuck.
had a real stretch of matches where she didn't try cheating in them since then.
God, it's been
I feel
so
so
long.
deprived. Yeah.
I know, dude. I know. Fuck. Especially when like I think about the 5 star that she was the runner up in because she lost to Shuri. You know, it got to the point where I was like, do I want Momo to win this 5 star? Because she just looked so good in that whole tournament that year. But I mean, man, like I'm telling you, man, like for as much as I like to clown on Momo and like have my fun with the whole fuck you Momo thing, I feel so bad for her fan base to a point. Because sometimes her fan base can be a little too rabid. Kind of like the Asuka fan base, where it's like, how dare you ever have her lose ever? It's like, okay, relax. But for the fan base that like is just still waiting for her to be world champion, nah, I feel for y'all because that's fucking hard. That is tough. The idea that Natsuko won the world title before she did, I'd be lying if I said if I think about it too long, it doesn't hurt my soul a little. And that's really all I'm gonna say about that. Is there anything else you want to say about Momo?
Nope. Let's move on to your number 4.
Number 4 for me is Xena. You
Nice.
Yeah, you already said a lot because your face is beautiful and it says things very well. So I won't linger on it too much. But yeah, I mean, really, I think what you said that perfectly encapsulated my feelings was this second run has been so much better than her first one. She's really been able to show up and show out. I mean, again, when I think about that Wonder of Stardom title and it now being on Natsupoi, like If Xena were just to beat her for it out of the blue, would I complain? No, no. I think Xena's got the goods, man. And I'm really curious what her career is going to be like in the future. Because again, she's also pretty young. Isn't Xena only like 25? She can't be any older than 27, right?
She is 27 exactly.
Wow. Fuck. Um, Yeah, I mean, she's still got plenty of quality fucking years to give. I mean, she's not even close to being done, and I'm just very curious what her career will look like in the future. I think she's very, very promising. And yeah, I love her to death. So all I'm gonna say about that, who's next on your list?
Number 3 on my list is May Seda.
I'm honestly a bit surprised she isn't higher, which makes me curious about 201. I mean, I could figure who one of them in the 2-1 spot's gonna be, but
I
yeah,
think
I
when
know
I
you
tell
love
you
May.
who 2 is, you're going to be like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
Interesting you said 2 and 0. Okay. Yeah. Because
Well,
I
yeah,
know I know where one of them is gonna be probably, but yeah. Anyway, continue about May. What's up with her?
because I figure you just know who 1 is already.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, yeah, I love May. She's awesome. I mean, it's I feel like we're a couple of fucking AEW fans here when we talk about Stardom because we can only talk about their in-ring and that kills my soul, man. That kills my soul.
Well, blame Bushi Road because
I
we don't
know.
get promos anymore.
I really hate that so much. But May, I will say, just from trying to extract as much as I can from the non-ring stuff, I do think that she comes off like a real sweetheart. I love that she's always got like the cute little phrases written on her wrist tape, and a lot of them are really wholesome and sweet and adorable. And then when she gets in the ring, it's like, holy shit, what the fuck happened? She's crazy fast, crazy lethal, man. With some of the like her drop kicks when she lands a drop kick to the face, that shit looks killer. She's like, what up, Okada? Or maybe really, she's more like Okada who. I love that she is so versatile in the ring because we've seen her do crazy submissions. She throws amazing kicks. She's fast as hell. She comes off the top rope. She throws suplexes. Like she does literally everything. Like name a wrestling style, May Seda has probably done shit from that style. She's just an all-arounder, and I love that. And the cool thing about her being an all-arounder is that she is a high-speed wrestler first and foremost. So the fact that she's an all-arounder means that she's so fucking fast at everything. So she's a fast all-arounder. So she does a little bit of everything, but she does it fast, which means that it's more compelling and more fun and more entertaining. And that's just I can't imagine her really ever not being in my fave 5 going forward just because like there's that connection of like her in the ring. I'm never going to not pay attention. And that's like the bar. Like if I pay attention to you when you're in the ring, you're probably going to end up landing in my fave 5.
Yeah, I know how protective you can be of certain like sweetheart wrestlers and stuff. So I hope that I never get the notion of being heelish to May and getting like turned up that way because I'm gonna get the most stern sir that I've ever gotten in my fucking life. When that day comes, I'll be floating the idea around like, hey Ashton, don't you think it would be great if May, lost her ability to trust? And you're gonna shut that shit down so good, like, no. What is wrong with you? And then I'm just gonna be like, oh, I don't know, man, everything. Fuck. But no, she's fantastic. She's a real fucking sweetie. I love that she's in Neo Genesis. Seems like a great spot for her. And yeah, man, that's another one with May. And I think it's even more impressive because she is high speed and she is kind of like a smaller competitor where like if you put the Wonder title on her, hell, I could even buy her being a challenger, not necessarily a winner, but a challenger for the world title. I'd love to see that. Yeah, she's fucking fantastic in the ring. She's got the goods, man. Not really much more you could say than that. But is there anything else you want to say before we get to my next person?
Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Azumi.
Okay,
Um,
well, I mean, she's your number 3 and I would have talked about her next cuz she's my number 2.
okay. I'm just gonna say that this 5-star did wonders for my Azumi fandom.
Same, exactly. That's why.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you, I realize that I think sometimes what holds me back from really liking somebody is like not wanting to really acknowledge their ceiling or what I believe the reality to be at present. And I really started to doubt, like, oh, is Azumi ever going to be like a main event talent? Is she ever going to be like on that level? And then like her beating the people she did in the 5-star and like her not looking out of place doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, she can. If Bushiroad allows her to, she can. Um, she had a brilliant 5-star. I think she was one of my favorite people to watch in the tournament. outside, of course, of the other people that like kind of went ahead of her. And it was a very competitive field, though, I'll tell you, because her matches were so fucking fun to watch. And she's a smartass, and I miss that smartass, especially being translated and stuff, so that I could laugh along. But Bushiroad said, fuck you, Gaijin fans. So it's like, oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. So yeah, great for Osmi, but you said she's your number two, so speak on it, King. What's up?
Yeah, man. Same for me as far as like the 5 star really just worked wonders for her, man. She the obviously the wins over Momo and Mayu and Tamantha were amazing to watch, but even more than that, just the actual matches. Like forget the wins, the matches themselves just all cooked, especially bro. Her and Momo, I feel like have infinite chemistry. Her and Momo in
Yeah,
the ring, just good lord. Uh, she really like. I love that she's being treated like more of a threat now than just a fluke roll up. That like to me, that was what she really needed. The
that's a
flip
great point,
pile
bro. Yeah.
driver, the flip pile driver finisher to me was like, okay, now we're finally cooking. We're finally here. Like she finally got a finisher that feels like it suits her style because she's like a high speed wrestler who was using submissions as her finishers for the longest time, and now finally she literally got a flippy finisher. It's like, okay, finally, let's hit the ground running. Let's do this. And now I am firmly in the camp of Azumi for Wonder of Stardom champion sooner than later. I don't know if I want her to win it before Starlight Kid. Actually, who won the high speed title first between the two of them? I forget. Was it Kid or Azumi? It was Azumi, right?
It was Osmi. Yeah, it
So
took
then,
Kid a
yeah,
bit
I
longer.
want Kid to win the white belt first, and I want Azumi to beat her for it. Um, but still, both of them white belt anytime. Maybe not anytime soon because they're in the same faction right now. But for the longest time, I was like kind of like iffy. I think I kind of hopped on board the Azumi for a Wonder of Stardom Championship train within the last like year or two, and this tournament has really just made me double down on it. Now I'm like, okay, let's have her win like a Cinderella tournament or something. Like she's ready, she's there. Um, she I feel like she's always been there as far as like the psychology and the improv and the selling and all that good stuff. She just needed that extra something to get it over the top, and I feel like she's there now. I feel like she got it, and this is like final form Azumi to me.
Yeah, yeah, love everything about what you said, man. I don't disagree with any of it. So let's keep the ball rolling. My number
Yes.
two is Starlight Kid. Much like Azumi, man, this 5 star did wonders for my Starlight Kid fandom. I love her. I popped hard when she beat Xena to make it to the playoffs. That match with Kamitani would have been a match of the year contender for me had Kid won. But Kamitani kicking out of the moonsault, but it just goes to show my Kid fandom because I was very salty about that kick out. Very salty about that kick out. But yeah, man, like you said, I very much see Kid as a Wonder of Stardom champion in the future. Hell, she beat Poi. I believe Kid beat Poi for her high speed championship when she finally won it. So it'd be amazing if she beat Poi for another championship. And that being, of course, the Wonder title. So
That would be
yeah,
amazing. I would love that.
yeah. Because
You
then,
are
dude,
correct, by the way. I just want to make sure that we all like acknowledge that you are right that she did beat Poi.
yeah, so she beat Poi for the high speed title, but then get this. Azumi beat Kid for the high speed title after that. So when you
Mm.
talk about you wanting Azumi to beat Kid, you could just do it all over again. Kid beats Poi, and then Azumi
Bro,
beats Kid.
can the white belt lineage just follow the high speed title lineage from now on, at least until we get to like May Sera?
Yeah, yeah,
Because we had Natsupoi to Starlight Kid, then Starlight Kid to Azumi, then Azumi to Saki Kashima, which I would love to see Kashima get her flowers in that form.
yes,
Then Kashima to May Sera.
yes,
I don't need May to lose it back to Kashima, and I don't need Kamitani to get another white belt run. Like, Kamitani to me has graduated. She's red belt or bust.
yes, exactly, exactly.
But if we could do all that up to May, and then maybe have May drop it to Hazuki afterwards, or maybe have Hazuki get sprinkled in there in the middle somewhere, because I really want her to win the title as soon as possible. Honestly, dude, have Hazuki be the one to beat Natsupoi, and then drop it to Kid, please.
Yeah, especially because Hazuki. she gave Kid a latitude when it seemed like Kid might be going back to Stars. So,
Yes.
like, that's a ready-made
And
program right there,
and
yeah.
Hazuki went to a draw with Natsupoi in the 5-star, so she's already got a title shot pretty much guaranteed.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Stardom's still got a lot of pieces in place to make very compelling programming. It's just, are you going to use those pieces or not? And that's always the question. So, who is number 2 on your Fave 5?
Azumi was.
Okay, Osmi was, and then I went Kid. So, okay, so then number 1 for you is just Hazuki, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Number
okay,
one for
okay.
me is Hazuki, and the 5-star has completely reinvigorated my love for her. I missed her so much
Yeah,
because like
yeah, man.
it feels like we went a long time without really watching as much of her because she was in a bunch of really shitty tag matches where like she was either teaming with Ida or teaming with Koguma because of FWC. They had a long run where FWC was either contending for or holding or still in the tag title picture. It was just obnoxious. And Hazuki is, I would stand strong on. I think she's a top 5 wrestler in Stardom.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and like, God, I just love her style so much because a lot of the other people that you would put in that top 5 contendership, like I would say Mayu, Momo, God, who else is like in that top 5 in Stardom, John? Mayu, Momo, Hazuki, who else?
Ayumomo Hazuki.
I mean, is there
Fuck.
anyone else that you would rank above Hazuki other than Mayu and Momo? Because to me, those are the top 3.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, but like they're 3 distinctly different styles though. Because like Mayu, I mean, if you could describe Mayu's style, I don't really know if I could describe any of them honestly. Because Momo is very much like strike heavy, strike and technical, and then like Mayu is more like strikes and flips, strikes and high speed, I guess you could say. Hazuki though, man, I don't know. She's got that dog in her. She is like
Yeah.
she like when grizzled young veterans say grit your teeth, I feel like Hazuki goes into every match with that mentality. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, for sure.
Hazuki goes into every match ready to kill a motherfucker. Like she is like she goes into every match with the mentality of a feral cat backed into a corner. Like she is ready to fucking pull hair and gouge eyes. I know she doesn't actually do that because she's a baby face now, but that's like her mentality. I feel like going into matches, she's got a very like killer instinct like mentality, and I just fucking love that about her. I wish that
Yeah.
she was allowed to win more matches because obviously that comes down to the booking and not her skill. But man, she is. I see her as almost like a Suzuki type in Stardom, just the mentality and the style, and I just love that about her. She's awesome.
She really is, man. I really hope she gets the white belt one day. She fucking deserves it. Um,
Sooner than later, please.
yes, absolutely.
Because I have this like paranoia that like if they go much longer without giving her that white belt, she's gonna lose interest again. Basically, she's gonna be like, okay, well, I've been here for another 5 years and they still haven't given me what I want, so I think I'm gonna just retire again. It's like fuck.
Yeah, I know. All right. Let's see. So Kid was my number 2.
Yeah,
My
who is your
number
number
1,
one?
Hanan. Uh,
Oh, okay, I love that.
I am so proud of this young
She
woman.
was your
You
number
don't
one
it?
last time too. Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah. I'm so proud of this young woman, and she just keeps getting better and better. And seeing how far she came in the 5-star, like I think she's in the running right now for my most improved 2024, just from like the booking standpoint and the in ring, because I think she's really looking like that future ace, man. Like in
Yeah,
the ring, the way she wrestles and stuff. She won the Cinderella, and to come this far in the 5-star,
yeah.
god damn, like Jesus Christ. She's amazing. She's amazing. Like I do think a white belt run is in her future. I'm the most confident in that of all the names we've mentioned, which is both exciting and sad because the other names we've mentioned are immensely fucking talented. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just every company's gonna have different priorities. But like I'm thinking about future world champion Hanan, and like just even saying it gives me goosebumps a little bit.
I'd
Um,
say give it like 5 or 6 years, and we'll get there.
yeah, I was thinking the same. I was definitely thinking like 5, 6 years. Yeah. And it's going to be an amazing journey to take, though. It really is, because who even knows what Stardom will look like by then? It's not even to say that it'll look like a good company. You know, it's definitely taken a few hits for both of us. But I think even if it is a bad company, Hanan would be the saving grace of it, you know, as world champion. And she's got the goods, man. She's got the fucking goods. When she beat Shuri to go all the way to the fucking semis,
Yeah.
I was beaming
Her
because
matches have
I
been
gave her no shot.
incredible lately too. She's gotten amazing in the ring.
Dude, yeah, I love because I love her finisher too. Because as a babyface, I love that her finish, you're holding your breath until she hits it. Because like with Stardom, you never know if somebody's gonna land on their feet or escape it or counter it or whatever, right? But then when she hits it, you can almost exhale and be like, "That should be it." And more often than not, it is. So like, it also is just treated as a legitimate finisher, which is great. But yeah, like, I love watching her in the ring. I love rooting for her. She's a fucking sweetheart. She's radiant as shit. Like her smile melts my heart. I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? It puts me in touch with an innocence that I thought I had lost. I mean, you guys hear the fucking shit I talk about on here. Like I literally earlier in this same commentary, I'm like, oh yeah, Ridge destroying human lives and almost ruining a fucking man to the point where he needed to be stretchered out. Hilarious. And then when we talk about Hanan, I'm like, no, no, everybody get away from her. She is a precious small being that needs to be protected at all costs. So yeah, I just have two completely different tones, and like I don't know, Hanan brings out the giddiness in me and just the innocence. It's very Kyrie-esque actually when I think about like my affection for Hanan. And yeah, I just can't wait to see her grow and prosper. And she's only 20 fucking years old. Like Jesus fucking Christ. I'm telling you, man, the youth in pro wrestling. Wrestling ain't got a talent problem. That's for damn sure. Because like so many young people across the world. I mean, you were even just talking about this Delta woman coming from Australia being 24. Like, I mean, it doesn't stop, bro. It doesn't stop. And I mean, Stardom, we know is very pro child labor. Like, oh, how old are you? 9? Excellent. Get in there and take a bump. Fucking show me how you do a back body drop. You know, but like, and while that is scary, and I definitely have my reservations and my critiques of that, it fucking worked. You know, like you got fucking Azumi, who's a genius. You got Anand, who's a future ace. At some point, you got to be like, you know, it's disturbing, but I mean, there's something to it, which is probably what the people that made Capital have and also thought. It's like, wow, you know, this is a really disgusting system, but you know, I'm rich, so fuck. Yeah, can't wait to see Hanan prosper. She's fucking fantastic, and that rounds out our Stardom list. So now we begin with Marigold.
Marigold.
I will never say in the English way again, as is proof by the last season of Umbrella Academy, because Marigold has ruined me completely. Thanks, Japan. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Rossi.
Yeah. So now I will start. So from 10 to 6.
Yes.
Number 10, Bozoa. 9, Yuzuki. Number 8, Kizuna Tanaka.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like her. I'm keeping an eye on her for sure. 7, Koki. And 6, Misa Matsui. I will say before Koki's matchup with Miku Aono, because you know I do like to stick to the rules and keep it from 10 to 6. It's very rare that I'll break a rule, and if I am breaking it, it's probably for somebody special. I really did want to acknowledge Rhea Seto as well, so I did just want to say she's also on my mind because I do like her. But Kizuna Tanaka, yeah,
Gotcha.
I just had to prioritize her. So please, who are your honorable mentions?
Oh man, I think my Marigold list is gonna stun you because there are people on there that you're gonna expect to be on there that are not on there at all. Okay, so from 10 to 6, Seri Yamaoka, the brand new rookie that we just got to watch manhandle Julia.
Oh, nice. I love that you're already like thinking about her in that
I
way because
have
I'm still waiting for
so
her
much
again.
hope for her. Yeah, she's like huge upside to me. Very excited about her and the fact that we got to see her shove another rookie out of the way to get her hands on Julia was like, oh my god. Instantly, like, I'm a fan. Please. Number 9, Bea Seto. I did have her on my honorable mentions list.
I'm glad one of us did.
I'm
Yeah,
excited about her, yeah. Number 8, Nagisa Nozaki.
nice.
Number 7, Mirai. And number 6, Kizuna Tanaka.
Cool. So you had Kizuna higher than I did, and you acknowledged Rhea. I'm already liking your list more than mine, but well played, good sir. Well played.
my
Uh,
Fave 5 is super chalky, though, dude. It is like paint by numbers.
I feel like mine is probably as well for the most part, but number 5 for me is Nagisa.
Nice.
Uh, I just really like her, man. You know that I have, I
Yeah.
think, since the beginning of Marigold, so I've
Yeah.
been consistent about that.
Yep.
Um, do I want to be an asshole? Yes. I think Chiaki's holding her back. I'd much prefer her as a singles competitor. I like the tag team. It's just I don't see any upside in Chiaki the same way I don't see any upside in Ida. Like, I don't understand why you can't pick somebody out of a crowd and just have them do the shit that they're doing. There's nothing really distinctive about them to me. Whereas with Nagisa, I mean, amazing look. Love her strikes, dude. Her sniper kicks, like, fucking legit. They're the closest thing Joshi has, I think, to a Claymore, straight up.
Yeah.
Because I love Drew's, Claymores,
Yeah.
a lot. But yeah, like, future United National Champion, please. Like, honestly, like, let's give her flowers at some point in time one day. I'm 100% here for that. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what she does next. I'm sure that her and Chiaki may be twin star tag champions one day. Okay, cool, whatever. What about after the fact? If I'm her manager, I'm like, Nagisa, listen, unlike your Instagram, let's take Chiaki out of the picture. Let's see what you want to do for your singles career. But Chiaki's my friend. I know. And see, the first thing you gotta learn about being a pro wrestler, friendship, that's for marks. So yeah, just dump her, and then we can talk about the United National Championship. Well, I do love winning. Yes. Yes, you do. And so yeah, that's why she needs to hire me, because I would ruin relationships, but I would also save careers. And I think that's a fair trade. So yeah, Nagisa's number 5 for me. Really excited about her. I think she's got a shit ton of upside. Who is next on your Marigold list as far as initiating your Fave Five?
Number 5, Utami Hayashishita.
And you know what? Honestly, makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as relative to last time, I had her at number 6 last time, so this is actually a move up for her on my list this time.
Nice.
Um, I think it's mostly because I've just been finding, it's like they've been giving her more opportunities to shine lately. I feel like she's been doing more. She's been getting more opportunities to wrestle good matches. She's been doing more good stuff lately, and it's like I feel like the Utami that you and I both fell in love with in Stardom is finally just starting to kind of peep through a little bit. And yeah, I'm not going to go much further because we've praised the hell out of Utami a lot over the years, and anything that I could say about her, I've probably already said. But to explain, her position on my list, it's because, yeah, it's like finally they're starting to let her show a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Number 4 for me is Mirai.
Nice, nice.
Again, I think she's really stepped up since coming to Monty Gold. Much like her, the person below her, I think her tag partner is holding her back. Um,
No, yeah, no, dude, literally, I think the reason that she fell for me because she was in my Fave Five last time, and she's only in my honorable mentions this time. I think it has a lot to do with my.
yeah, yeah, no, I don't blame you at all. I was actually really looking forward to seeing what Mirai could do more in a singles context. Like, it's so funny that Stardom really pushed the shit out of her, and really that she left. Because like, if I'm Mirai, I'm like, oh, they'll probably make me world champion eventually. But I guess she just liked Rossi that much. I don't
Well,
know
maybe
what
it
her
was
reason was.
Rossi that was the one that pushed the shit out of her, and Bushi Road
Ooh.
wasn't as high on her.
And then Mirai was like, well, I do like when things are about me. So I guess I'm gonna get out of
The
here.
most revolutionary thing.
God, I love when there are characters on movies and television that just resonate so much with the worst parts of myself. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's concerning. Oh, sorry. But no, no. To get back to business here. No, I mean, I definitely, again, I think about that United National title, and really, I do see Mirai as a definite like future United National champion. With Nagisa, that's more of a wish list, which like how often do my wishes come true in wrestling? Sometimes. But I don't really know with Nagisa. With Mirai, yeah. I feel like that United National title was made for her. I think it's definitely going to happen. World champion? Maybe. I don't think it's a definitive no or yes. I'm definitely in that maybe where we're just gonna have to really wait and see. But yeah, I think she's doing some amazing work. I think she's got some match of the years in her Monte Gold run, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. I enjoyed her series with Miku Aono, and yeah, I think it's only gonna get better from here. So who is next on your list?
Number 4 on my list is, in fact, Julia.
You know what, bro? I'm happy that, like, you thought she was in Marigold for the majority of this grading period. So it's Marigold and I'm using it, damn it. So talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the last time that I'm going to be able to rank her in my Marigold Fade 5 because going forward, she's going to be in NXT. So I took advantage of that and I put her where I think she belongs, which is at number 4. She has still been doing really good work. She's still a great wrestler. She's still very compelling in the ring. She's still, very engaging. And yeah, she's fucking Julia. Like what can I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we
Absolutely.
also got to take into account like this grading period. I believe it includes Fields Forever.
Yes.
Let me check real quick. I want to make sure. No, actually, it doesn't. Shit.
Wow.
When was Fields Forever? Was it back in May? I thought May was when. Oh yeah, it was in May. Shit. Huh. Regardless, she's been back in action since, and she's been a pretty active member of the roster since. So, it's only fitting that I put her in the list here.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. No issues there. Next for me is Natsumi Shozuki at number 3.
Nice.
Love her, man. Love her. She is so intense. Her strikes are legit. I think she's the perfect fit for that fucking super flyweight title. And yeah, I just think she's fantastic. I really do. And yeah, I can't wait for her rematch with Misa. And honestly, I think it was you that said recently on a Marigold show that you could see her as either like a future United National Champion or even world champion. You went as far as to give her
Definitely.
that credit.
Yeah.
And you know what? The
Well,
more I
yeah,
think
because
about
like
her,
you can
the
see
more I
her
agree.
like working with Utami, working with Miku, working with Sari, and she doesn't feel out of place at all.
Oh, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. So yeah, this is just for me to say. I only bring that up to say I co-sign with you. There might have been a point where I was like, I don't know. Well, now I do because the more I think about her and the style that she works, yeah, it's a style that could work with really anybody. And so, yeah, just a big, big fan of Shozuki. So who's next on your list?
Number 3 on my list is Sari.
Nice, nice, good,
Yeah, I
good.
I really like Dickhead Sari, man. She's awesome.
Yeah,
She's a lot of fun to just kind of watch beat people up and bully people. Honestly, it's good shit.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you, man, I think it's almost like a work shoot in a way. It worked because obviously she doesn't want to like hurt anybody. I don't think she wants to big league anybody for real, although you never know who's a politician and who isn't. I'm going to assume that Saudi isn't, but worked because like you can tell that WWE run, or like shoot, I should say, because you could tell that WWE run did something to her. And I think she feels a bit embittered about it, understandably so, I might add. This is not me blaming her for her feelings, but I think she really looked at that and was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be a huge name in Josie, and I'm gonna throw it back in your fucking face. And she did. So like, there you go. She's world fucking champion.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's pretty great to see. It's pretty great to see.
yeah.
Anything else you want to say about Sadie?
Um, no, I think that covers it. What's your number 2?
All right, number 2 for me is Miku Aono. Um,
Beautiful. Wow.
yeah,
Oh, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. I know. I just think she's been a fantastic United National Champion. I think you want to talk about future world champion and like leading Marigold and this and that. Like Miku Aono is her in that way. I think she has got that quintessential Joshi feel to her, where it's like the spirited babyface that never ever gives up, and but she makes it entertaining. I love that she does the Styles Clash. I wish we could talk more in Joshi right now about promos. It kills me that we fucking can't because letting people talk sometimes can be a great thing. Look at Maki Ito, Exhibit fucking A. Like I want more personalities in Joshi because I really gravitate to the personalities hard when I'm able to see them. Again, Maki Ito. Fucking who else? Chris Wolf when she was active, fucking great. Hell, and Stardom even, like fucking Tam before I knew she was Tam Hogan and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
just want personalities back in Joshi, which is really just me saying I want Joshi to be accessible again because I know the personalities are there, but it's like speak the language, and I'm like I don't. I'm hopelessly monolingual. I'm maybe trying to learn Chinese a little, but like I don't know. I'm probably gonna fail at that too. So like, work with me here, motherfucker. Work with me here. And they're just like, no, fuck you. And I'm like, no, fuck you. And then we fight about it. Fuck. So
You want to fight
yeah,
about it?
yeah, I do actually very much. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. So yeah, that's where I am. It's not Miku's fault. She's a sweetheart, but like I don't know. I'm a very emotionally stunted man that's angry about a lot of things. Some of them legitimate, many of them probably illegitimate. Welcome to the world. But yeah, just translate your fucking shit, Marigold and Stardom. Fucking Bushiroad ass. Oh, we're gonna save so much money by locking out everyone else. Fuck you. Um. So yeah, Miku. I feel bad for Miku because it's supposed to be about her and this is about my own issues. But no, she's great. Really think her versus Saudi for the world title would fucking cook. Her versus anybody would cook. I cannot wait for the Dreamstar Grand Prix, mainly for her tournament matches. And yeah, just she's fantastic. So who is next on your list?
Well, number 2 on my list is Natsumi Shozuki.
Excellent. Talk about it. I knew she would be high for you, given
Yeah.
that again, you gave the praise that you did like
Well,
during recording. So
I don't know if you remember, but she was number 1 on my list last time.
so a little bit of a demo. Oh, I wonder who's overtaken her. This is interesting. All
If
right.
you followed my list last time, you'd know. So yeah, Shozuki is number 2 for me this time around. I've still enjoyed her a lot, but I do feel like she's done less this time around. It just feels like she's done in a lot more tag matches. Um, Maybe it's just because there's less of the luster of her being new to me. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes. You're
But
more
still, like,
acclimated at this point.
she's just such a badass, man. I love watching her work. She is so. I kind of want to just say mean. Like, she is. Like, I would not want to fuck with her. Like, when she gets in that
No.
ring, it's like she's in there because she wants to fuck people up, and I love that. It's such a good vibe. It's such a, like, she makes wrestling feel real, and that is literally where I parked my car. That is my shit. That is what I want out of my wrestlers. I want my
Yeah.
wrestlers. I want wrestling to make suspending my disbelief easy as fuck, and most of them don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
most of
which is what
them
makes it
most of
special.
them make me work really hard to suspend my disbelief, and I shouldn't have to do that. Natsumi Shozuki doesn't make me work at all to suspend my disbelief. She makes it real easy, and I love that about her. She's awesome.
Very, very high compliment. I think I know now who your number one for Marigold's gonna be, but I'm not gonna say anything until it's your turn. Which will be imminent here because number one for me is Utami.
Of course.
And enough said. I mean, like you literally said earlier, we've said enough about her and her Stardom run over the years. I will say this though, and this isn't even necessarily a compliment, it's just more of a cryptic, like, come on, kind of thing. Is I really am looking forward to the day that she really fully becomes Utami again. Because I am waiting for that. I'm watching her very closely in the Dreamstar Grand Prix. I'm gonna say that much. So who is number one on your list? Because again, I think I know, but I want to hear you say it.
Miku Aono.
Okay, cool, cool. I would have been wrong. For whatever reason, I thought you were gonna say Bozilla because I feel like you're really into like her dominating people, but no, Miku Ono makes sense. Makes
No,
sense.
Bozilla's cool, but I feel like the sort of oh god, I'm having a word problem. It's not luxury. Something has worn off. I'm trying to figure out the word.
Buster?
That's not the luster. That was actually a word that I thought of. That's not the right word. The like the uniqueness, the new factor, like
The
the
novelty?
novelty. Thank you. Yes, I feel like the novelty has kind of worn off. Because yeah, like Bozilla's cool. But she kind of does admittedly feel one dimensional. I mean, it's a great dimension. It's like the best dimension to have if you're a pro wrestler, without a doubt. But I do like more depth in pro wrestling, and like I said, um, the novelty's kind of worn off with her. I'd like to see her in a different setting. I think is also what it comes down to. I want to see her go dominate some other roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
Miku, though, what Miku does is it does provide more of that depth. I think that she does powerhouse stuff similar to Bozilla, but she does it in a more compelling way because it's not the only thing that she does, and she does it in a package where when she does do it, it's surprising and it's not what you expect. She is extremely technically adept. She has the look of an ace. She has the attitude of an ace. She has the skill of an ace. And I think that if Utami thought that she was just going to walk into Marigold and as soon as Julia left, she was just going to take over as the face of the company, she might want to look over her shoulder because Miku Aono is on her ass.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love that we can get a match between the two of them. I need that shit. Pump that shit into my veins.
Yeah, for sure. Love that.
Miku, I think it's funny because you mentioned when you had Koki Amare in your honorable mentions, and you mentioned the Miku match being a big reason as to why. For me, it's a big reason as to why Miku jumped up to my number one spot because we've seen Koki, and she is improving. I think that Koki is definitely getting better, but to me, Miku gave her the best match of her career, and that to me is less. Oh wow, Koki had the best match of her career, good for her, and more. Oh wow, Miku Aono is incredible. She gave Koki the best match of her career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Miku to me is just. I think she's gonna end up like if I don't just take like the cop out and just say Marigold is or like the actress girls group in Marigold specifically is my revelation of the year, and I do want to get more specific with it. I think it might end up being Miku specifically
Yeah.
because she's fantastic, and I was actually part of me was kind of hesitant to even like jump onto the Miku Aono bandwagon because I felt like so many people in our Discord were so like over the top hyping her up, and I was like resistant to it because I'm just contradictory like that. I'm kind of contrarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I couldn't resist longer. She's too good, man. She's awesome.
Hey, and that's always the best feeling when it's like, man, no, screw you. I don't need this wagon. I'm gonna find my own. And then you just realize why everybody's on that wagon. You're like, hey, got room for one more.
Yeah,
Like always.
yeah.
Always. Um, so yeah, that rounds it up for Monty Gold then. Time for our other list.
Yes.
Which we're making good time because it's not even 7:30 yet, so we'll definitely get this done before NXT. You already know me, brother. I never have an honorable mentions usually for my other
Oh,
list because I don't
have
really
you just
watch.
given up on even trying to have an honorable mention list for
I
other?
really have. I don't really. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm at a place right now where the business is good. I just don't care to watch wrestling outside of our sanctioned content for the podcast. So like, you're
Yeah.
never gonna see me watching other stuff. Like, I got other things to do with my time.
Well, I feel like
So
I
yeah.
got nice and creative with my honorable mentions for my other
Well,
list,
you're
so
a
I'm
nice
proud of
and
it.
creative boy, so I want to hear all about it. What was your honorable mentions list?
Number 10, grizzled young veterans.
Love it. Love it.
Number 9, Stokely Hathaway.
Oh my god, excellent.
Number 8, Tavion Heights.
That clever because he was N1, so it counts.
Number 7, Shingo Takagi.
Nice.
And number 6, Zack Sabre Jr.
Nice. Usually for other lists, again, because I'm very frank that like outside of sanctioned TWitWoW content, I'm really not gonna bother. Usually, I usually for this quarter especially, who was I watching on YouTube just to keep up with, and who did I go out of my way to watch? And that is the thing. My number one is a big compliment because I actually went out of my way to watch their stuff, and even then, I didn't watch all their stuff that I would have liked to have watched, but I watched enough of it to justify, given how blase I usually am about this list, um, to give them the number one spot. So to begin with number 5, Brian Danielson. I did watch a lot of his like YouTube stuff leading up to All In and the match with Swerve, and I did watch highlights from the match with Swerve, and he looked stellar. I saw the spot where he ate the kicks, looking at his family saying, I love you so much," and like that was one of the most badass babyface things I think I've ever seen. Even at this stage of his career, this dude can really argue being the best wrestler in the world right now, which
Yeah.
is insane to me. Cause like, it's not like he hasn't been getting competition. He has. And the competition's been stiff, in my opinion. But he's still, he
Stiff like
still has to
his
claim.
kicks.
Oh, you. Um, so so yeah, I mean he's fantastic, man. He's fucking Brian Danielson. What else is there to say? I do kind of miss him in WWE,
Yeah.
but because I just feel like AEW, I hate the company, and and that's the thing. I'm nothing if not honest. So if you're here for like pro AEW takes, you're not gonna get it from me. I fucking hate that company. But as far as like singular wrestlers, I like him. I like Mariah May. I do like people on that roster, and they're very lucky to have Danielson as champion. I mean, I don't even necessarily fully hate MJF, but I even wonder if Danielson should have won it all the way back in their Iron Man match because he looked fucking great in that too. Like, were we just waiting a little too long here? But curious what his run will be. I'm sure it'll be off to a great start. Who's his first title defense? Jack Perry. Okay. So, yeah, really taking advantage that this guy gives people the best matches of their career. Really taking advantage of that, and in the worst
I mean,
ways.
in Tony Khan's mind, he is, because he wants Jack Perry to get over, so he wants Jack Perry to have the best match of his career.
Miller. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you all the way down there. Fuck. Who's on your fucking other list to start your Fave 5?
Number 5 on my other list is Jamie Hayter.
Love it. I want to join you there, and I hope I will one day. She just got back,
Exactly.
and like,
She just
yeah.
got back. She debuted on the pre-show on the 0 hour of All In, and she's had one match, and that's all it takes because I fucking love this woman.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, she is brilliant though. I'm telling, dude, if she could go on a nice healthy run in the company, she'll be nipping at Rhea's heels in my mind for best women's wrestler in the world. Because I think I've even forgotten to a point how good Jamie Hayter is. It's been so fucking long. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, as you should be. Your face deserves to be excited about things. All right. Next for me. Oh, I think is it? Yes, it is. Oh God.
Number 4
Next
for
for me,
you.
MJF. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry, but
You
hear
really
me
just
out.
can't quit him, can you?
I love that you said it like that because it is a problem. No, you said that so perfectly because it's such a fucking problem. So the thing about me is I love pieces of shit, apparently, because his promo after All In, I've watched that shit at least 15 times, and I don't know why. It just has me dying. I think low key, I love how this man enunciates. Like, he comes out and he's selling the what do they call it? The Tiger Driver 91 now, or whatever the fuck Will calls his fucking
Yeah.
dangerous move they shouldn't even be doing. And he's like, I am in an incredible amount of pain right now. So I'm gonna very politely say, if you people do not pipe down, so help me God. And just the way he threatened them, and he sounded so done, so tired, and so old. I was just thinking to myself, Max, mood, honestly. Because there are so many times that I just want to tell the world to pipe the fuck down. Like, I don't know. And then he just stares at the hard cam. I think the things that you hate about MJF, it's not even okay. I guess it is kind of that I love them because he's on my list, obviously, but I think I've just learned to embrace it. Like, he always does this spot in his promos where he looks into the hard cam to talk to a guy that either he just beat or they just beat him. And he does that with Ospreay. And I'm like, he's got these tropes in every MJF promo, and I've just learned to embrace all of it. I did enjoy parts of what I saw from the Dynamite match with Ospreay. I actually heard people say that was better than their All-In match. I did not watch the All-In match. I don't know. I also enjoyed his stuff with Fletcher. I'm still convinced he's going to hook up with Don Callis at some point. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, but I guess you can't rush a good thing. And yeah, I can't quit him. I can't, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I can't. And I enjoyed the promo, and again, it was who I watched on YouTube, and I'm just that promo alone I watched so many times because it makes me giggle, and I like laughing. I do. I like laughing. I want to laugh more in my pro wrestling because I'm just so jaded about so much in the business. But yeah, he was number 4 for me. Who's next on your list?
Number 3 on my list is number 4 on my list. Right?
Escape something away. Yeah. I think it would be. Yeah, because MJF was my number 4. So who's your number 4?
It's Bryan Danielson.
Cool. I'm glad you acknowledged him too, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, pretty much all the same reasons as you. His match with Sir was amazing. His mic work lately has been incredible. Like, yeah, it's pretty much all the reasons you'd expect. He's Bryan Danielson. We can move on.
Yeah. All right.
Number
cool.
3.
That was fast. Number 3, Mariah May.
Beautiful.
I mean, I'm telling you again, women's wrestling is so fucking good right now. I wish I could be as jazzed about the Joshi scene because there is a special place in my heart for Joshi, but like, I don't know, man. The America's kind of taking it back again for me because between, Rhea, fucking Io, and now Jade's gonna get more polish, and Jade seems ready to put in the work. I love that she said at the last presser, I am done talking about AEW. Yeah, girl, same. Big mood. Big mood. Fucking who Julia just got here. So like America's taking the ball back. And like, yeah, Mariah's a big part of that, man. Like, I think Mariah's going to dominate the conversation in 5 years. I really do. And in some ways, I think she's part of the conversation now. And that's insane. But I think she's going to become really a centerpiece of the combo when we talk about who's the engine of women's wrestling right now, who's the best, who's doing such great work. It's Mariah. It's Mariah May 100%. She can talk. She can fucking work. She got genuine fucking heat. I think she can be a very endearing babyface if they give her the chance one day, because I think she's got a lot of likability to her. I ship the shit out of her and Mina Shirakawa. I mean, what's not to love? It's fucking Mariah May. I'm happy she's women's champion. I just got to be honest, like again, because I am very anti AEW. I'll be curious if she can elevate that title because to me, like, it's cool to be the champion of any organization and it shows a lot of trust. But I'm like, you know what, Mariah, call me either when you go back to Stardom to maybe save it from itself, depending if it gets any worse, or if you go to WWE and then you fucking win those titles. Because I'm telling you, this woman has so much to give. And I think what I worry about with AEW, because Tony Khan has shiny new toy syndrome. How soon is it going to be before Mariah recedes into the background? How soon before people are going to forget how great she is? Because now we got to rebuild Jamie Hayter again, and do all that. And it's like, I don't want Mariah wasting her best years on that shit, on that push and pull bullshit. I really want her to build a legacy. This is a legacy fucking wrestler, by which I mean this is a woman that can build a career that lasts, that exceeds her. She's that talented. Just got to give her the fucking ball. So let's see what happens. But who's next on your list?
Number 3 on my list is MM Collection.
Oh, that's a nice one. Okay, talk to me about this.
I have loved everything that I have seen from these guys ever since they arrived in Ring of Honor. Their promos have been great. Their matches have been great and entertaining, which is something severely lacking under the AEW umbrella. I think that they had a match on, I want to say it was either Rampage or Collision, I forget which one, where Mansoor was like struggling because he couldn't decide who he wanted to go to between Layla Gray and his tag partner, Madden. And that segment was amazing and popped me in ways that I haven't been popped in a while in wrestling. It was, and I also love that even just by having a moment like that, they're helping to normalize bisexual men, which is something that's still like very is taboo the right word? I don't know like how to describe
Stigmatized, I think would be a better
Thank
word.
you. Yeah,
Stigmatized.
very stigmatized. Even in today's culture where people are like, making more of an effort to normalize queerness, bisexual men are still having a lot of problems out there. There are a lot of straight women who, if they find out that they are with a man who's bisexual, will just straight up not want to be with them anymore. Like it's an actual thing. I've actually read a lot of stories about that.
Yeah,
Even just over,
biphobia, I think, is hella understated in the
yeah,
conversation.
100%,
Yeah.
especially specifically towards men. You don't really see biphobia towards women really at all, as far as I
I
can
think that
tell.
gets fetishized a lot,
Yeah,
right? By the male
exactly,
gaze and shit.
exactly,
Yeah, like it's
exactly.
gross. It's gross
Yes,
really on both ends, but for very different
for
reasons.
different
Yeah.
reasons, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I love that you've got like Manny in the middle of the ring, like can't decide whether he wants to go to the woman or the guy. It's like that's fucking cool, and it was funny. It was done in a funny way. It was entertaining, and their promos are amazing. I love their promos, and they can work. It's not like they're just a comedy act. They're great workers. I love them, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, dude, I
I
love
wish
that.
Tony would push them more. Honestly, I wish they would get more TV time and not just ROH garbage. Like they really, really want you to buy that fucking ROH subscription, and it's just not happening.
Hey, if Athena hasn't made me do it, it's never gonna happen.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Um, but see, this is why I love that you really you are more engaged with pro wrestling than me outside of podcast hours because I never would have even known that you were digging these guys. That's really cool, man. I'm really happy for you. That's awesome. Number 2 for me, Swerve Strickland.
Love it.
I don't think this guy really got the appreciation he deserved as world champion. I agree a lot with Pro Wrestling Bits' commentary on Swerve's title reign. You should go check that guy
Absolutely.
out. He's pretty great, and he keeps his videos very concise, which is very
Yes.
attractive in this day and age. So yeah, I really think he says everything perfectly. I really can't do any better than a guy like that. But yeah, I think Swerve's immensely talented. I do hope one day he gets another run with the AEW World Title. Hell, dude, honestly, at this point, fuck. I kind of hope he pulls a Cody and goes back to WWE one day and just kind of shoves it in their face and at least wins the World Heavyweight title. Because, like, I could see him as that after this AEW run for sure. For fucking sure. Certainly an IC champion if he would ever want to go back. I just think he feels more complete than he ever has.
Yeah.
And again, I've admitted my bias many times, so I'm not acting as a bad faith actor. I'm nothing if not consistent. I just really look at AEW and I'm like, how long do you guys really want to be here? And to be fair, I used to look at TNA the same way. You know, when there were people that would talk about, oh man, could you imagine Samoa Joe in WWE? Could you imagine Bobby Roode in WWE? Yeah, I could. And I wanted them there, like, you know, when they were in their prime, you know? And I feel like they both, like, Joe had a good WWE run and Rude, he was decent. But I feel like they could have been even better had they left TNA like fucking years ago. That's already kind of how I'm feeling about AEW. It's like, do not give your best years to this fucking place. Like, make your bag. But here's the thing. I do worry Swerve will, because I know that he recently signed a new contract. And the thing is, it was a big money contract, which is the big saving grace here. Like, if he wasn't getting paid, I'd be harping on a lot more about this, but he apparently is getting that bag big time. Like, holy fucking shit, is he getting paid? So, and he deserves it, man. He deserves it. He's great on the mic. He's amazing in the ring. He could be a heel or a baby face, almost even in the same match. He's very fluid with his alignment, which honestly, in this day and age, I think is also an asset. You know, we're not in the fucking 80s anymore. So yeah, it's you know, if I drove, I would swerve a lot. So maybe that's another reason why he's number 2 for me. But yeah, he's fucking fantastic. I love him to death. So who's next on your list, bud?
Number 2 on my list, Mina Shirakawa.
Love it. Love it so much.
God, you know what? Hate doesn't do it justice. I fucking
Yeah.
loathe
Ooh.
that she was excluded from the 5-star for this.
Bro, given that Tam got the title back, I'm gonna say this right now, and please like hold me back if you think I'm being hyperbolic or too far. She should have won the
Political?
damn thing this year. Like,
Wait,
yeah, she should. What?
I apologize. I spoke over you when you were talking because I thought I knew what you were going to say, but I was wrong. Please repeat yourself.
No, I was saying, dude, given that we know now that Tam was just gonna get the title back, like I feel like Mina just should have won this year. She should have been in it and she should have fucking won this year. Like I wanted Mina to get her revenge on Tam from that bullshit from like I even forget the name of the show now. Flashing Champions. Flashing Champions. That bullshit where she beat Mina for the Wonder Title. I'm like, yeah, I've always wanted Mina to tag her back and it's just never gonna fucking happen. So fuck. But yeah, please continue. Because you loathe that she was excluded from the 5-star. And
For this, well, yeah, for this, because like, what has she done in the last like month and a half? Like, what has she done? She won the Rev Pro British Women's Championship, which like, who gives a fuck? I'm happy that she won a title outside of Stardom. That's cool. I know that's something she aspires to, but like, I would rather have seen her wrestle 9, or I guess it would be 6 amazing singles matches
yes,
in
yes.
Stardom, right? And like, she's made she literally, what has she done in AEW in this time? I think she was in the crowd for Mariah Tony, and that's about it. I think she wrestled one match on Rampage last week, and that's it. That's her AEW, you know, inclusion. That's why she missed the 5-star. Um, it's frustrating, and yet still, despite all that, she's still Mina Shirakawa, man. She's still fantastic. She's still amazing. She's still great at what she does. She's still killing it. She's still,
Yeah.
I mean, she, I don't really know what to say. She's awesome. She's been,
Yeah.
I think she might have wrestled at that recent New Japan Strong show that I actually did peek on.
Yeah.
Capital Collision, that's what it was. Yeah, it was her and Hanako. They beat Trish Adora and Viva Van, and that, and her winning the Rev Pro title, and like, that's the only other stuff that she's done in the grading period that managed to kind of land her in this spot at all was she did have some Stardom stuff that we did see. Like, she wrestled a couple matches with Stardom that were included in this grading period that I didn't want to include her in the Stardom list because she was barely in Stardom in this grading period. But I didn't want to exclude her entirely, so I threw her in the other section.
Right.
She was in Stardom for like 2 weeks of this grading period of 7.
Right.
So that's how she landed here for me.
All right.
She
Number one.
also, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Please finish. Please
I was
finish.
just gonna say she also, like I mentioned, that she had a Rampage match.
Yes.
Yeah, she's beaten jobbers on Rampage, and she did have a match with Taya on an ROH TV taping. I don't know if that's actually aired yet or not.
Well, that's cool at least. I like Taya. Everything else though sounds like a bucket of
Oh
Kentucky
yeah,
Fried
she did
Ass.
beat Rachel Ellering because that was the thing. Like at All In, she was in the crowd. She was right next to Rachel Ellering.
Okay.
And on like the next episode of the ROH Thursday thing that they do on Honor Club, she had a match with Rachel and beat her.
Oh man, I wish she would have gotten even more involved with the whole Mariah like Tony stuff. I really liked your idea of her helping Mariah win because Mariah is the heel in this. So
Yeah.
like her getting help, especially from somebody that like, she has a very positive history with. Like, yeah,
Yep.
that would have been great. But no, we can't have nice things. So, uh, number one for me, Zack Sabre Jr.
Nice.
And again, this is where the compliment comes in. I actually went and I watched 2 of his 5-star matches, or excuse me, 5-star, his fucking
G1.
G1 matches. Yeah, I watched him versus Naito and him versus Evil. I still would like to watch him versus I don't know if he faced Shingo. I definitely know I want to watch him versus Suji because that
He
was the
faced
final.
Shingo in the finals or the semis.
Okay, and his
It
blood
was the
finals. Yeah.
semis. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to watch him versus Shingo and him versus Suji at some point. But yeah, if I'm going out of my way to watch your matches because I'm like, oh my god, is it finally going to be Zach Shear? And finally, it was his fucking year. I'm happy for him, man. I think he's still a great technical wrestler. He's in his prime. I saw a random wrestling podcast recently. I don't remember the name of it, and that's not even a diss. Like I genuinely don't remember the name. I would like to give credit. Maybe it's in my history actually. But this wrestling podcast was talking about like, oh, we're hearing all this stuff about Zach and how people are excited for him to, potentially finally win. This is before he won the tournament. And then they're like, why not Goto? And I'm like, I don't hate Goto, but I'm sick and tired of waiting for Zach for it to be his turn. So no, we're not doing that. We're doing Zach now, and everybody's gonna get on fucking board. So yeah, I hope he beats Naito again. I'd love to see Zach main event or Wrestle Kingdom, mainly because Naito needs to take a fucking 5-year vacation. He's very beat up and very tired. And I'm like, Naito, you don't have to give us anymore. I promise. We love you. You're great. It's okay. Yeah, the podcast was Voices of Wrestling, just to give them credit, but goddamn, they were like, oh, why can't the G and G1 stand for Goto? I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't stand for anything in Zack Sabre Jr. because there are no fucking G's in it. So fuck you. But yeah, happy for him that he finally got it. Hope he wins the world title. And yeah, I just love technical wrestling, and nobody does like him. I also saw a clip. Now this was outside the grading period, but I did see a clip a couple nights ago when he had a match in AEW against Orange Cassidy, and the submission win that he got on that was fucking insane. I'm like, yeah, nobody's doing it like Zach. I'm telling you, the future of technical wrestling is Zack Sabre Jr.,
Yeah.
where you do these complex, insane chains, but you do them very fast because Brit Rest fucking sucks and they need to evolve. And I already said, watching Pete Dunne, which I'm probably going to do the same again tonight, that I watched his ass on 2x speed and it was still too goddamn slow. So I'm telling y'all, fucking fix your shit. No, but I do a wrist clutch and see this finger? I'm bending it. I bend fingers too. I'm bending my finger right now. Oh my god. Such wow, such talent. Fuck you. So yeah, Zach is definitely the best of a very shitty fucking bunch that honestly, if you would tell me tomorrow, oh hey, Brit Rest no longer exists, I'm like, oh, finally a part of wrestling has been decolonized. Isn't that fucking wonderful? But Zack Sabre Jr., he can fucking stay. He can stay. He's fine. Everybody else, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck your queen, fuck your mothers. There you go. So who's number one for you on your other list?
It's Mariah May.
Fuck yeah! All right, yeah, you can talk about it.
I mean, she's been incredible. I believe that everything that she's done has taken place over the course of the month and a half that we're grading here, from her betrayal of Tony to her quote unquote transformation, which is weird, because she's always been the glamour, but her transformation into the glamour, her winning the title, and her like post championship win run already has been great because of like the segment that she did on Dynamite last week where she did like the robe gimmick and told people that she was, you know, that this town wasn't worthy of her celebration and stuff. Like, yeah, I just love everything she's doing. I love everything that she's done. I love everything that she's doing. Her first promo after turning on Tony, I thought was fantastic. It got criticized for being too slow, but we talked about how much I love that because it was in contrast to Tony and how fast Tony always talks. I just think Mariah is on another level. I think she is one of the most compelling compelling, entertaining, and engaging women's wrestlers, and they're just really wrestlers overall in the world right now. Just period. End of story. She's awesome. I love her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff. Now we get to really interesting business because it's Universal Top 10. And I'm telling you right now, this is a bit of a different top 10 for me. So I'm really excited for this.
It's pretty
Um,
shaken up for me too, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm excited for both of us then. Who should start? Should I start or should you start? Actually, I guess maybe I should start since you initiated the other list, right? For honorable mentions since I never had it. So
Yes.
okay. Number 10 for me, Zack Sabre Jr.
Nice. I love that for you. Number
Indeed.
10 for me. Get this. Jada Parker.
Ooh, I love that for you. All right. Number 9 for me, Miko Aono.
Same.
Number 8 for me, Chad Gable.
Chad Gable. Okay, nice, nice. Number 8 for me, Azumi.
Number 7 for me, Azumi.
I love that. Nice. Number 7 for me, Roxanne Perez.
Uh, wait. Okay, number 6 for me, Starlight Kid.
Nice, nice. Number 6 for me, Mina Shirakawa.
Number 5 for me, Gunta.
Okay, number 5 for me, Sky Pirates.
Number 4 for me, Utami.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, not number 1 anymore. Yeah, that's why I said it's very different this time around.
Number 4 for me, Hazuki.
Number 3 for me, Obafemi.
Oh, number 3 for me, Liv Morgan.
Number 2 for me, Hanan.
Wow. And I know who your number 1 is. Number
Yeah.
2 for me, Mariah May.
Number 2 for me, Men Are So Back. Braun
Braun
Breaker.
Breaker. I love that so much.
Yeah.
All right, man. That was fantastic. And we're finishing just in time for NXT. It's 10
Well,
after.
wait, just to be clear, I thought I must have misheard. I thought you said number 2 for you was Mariah. Can you just tell me your 2 and 1 again, just so that's clear for
Oh,
me?
I'm sorry. I was so excited about knowing your number 1 that I never announced mine.
Thought so.
I guess I also kind of assumed that it was a gimme that it's Obafemi.
Oh, oh, you. Oh, I fucking love your burner account.
Oba has been my number 1 this and the last time. He was number 3 the time before that. He's pretty well he was number 5 prior to that. I love that he's actually had like a true rise to number 1 and he's going to be there for a while.
Oh, can I just say too, it is adorable and wonderful because I have been around you for like over a fucking decade, and we've been doing this for like forever. It's one thing when you're like very analytical and you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be like a top guy or this girl's gonna do really well. But it's amazing that it's finally happened where like you see this guy as like a license to print money and he's gonna win all the titles, he's gonna just do everything. And like you're stoked about it though. Like you're all about it. You're like, I am right there. I am advocating every step of the way. I'm the one that says that doesn't work for me, brother. When somebody even breathes about somebody going over Opa, it ain't fucking happening.
Yeah.
I love it. I love how into this dude you are. I love that you're fully fucking invested on every level, both like analytically, like, no, this is the guy, and emotionally, like, no, this is the guy. Like it's both tones. And given
You
that you have a
nailed it
PhD,
there,
like
dude. You nailed it.
yeah, like no, I love that for you because for all the years I've been around you and all the years we've done this together, like don't get me wrong, I've seen you pop and I've seen you be behind people like hello Hazuki and stuff like that. But it's just I think this is the first time that I've seen you get behind a guy, like a person that could like run the fucking company and be like, yeah, maybe the last time would have been Danielson during the Yes movement
Yeah.
because he was just so hot then. But like
To a
this is
lesser
even
degree,
more
though. To a lesser
to a
degree,
lesser
for
degree.
sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this is more than that. This is insane. I love it though. I live for it. Like I can't even get over again the whole burner account joke when I think Sean originally made that joke and you just ran with it. Like
Oh,
oh
was
my
it
god,
Sean? I
it's
thought it was Foster.
Was it? It might have been Foster is cheeky too with his humor. It could have very well been Foster.
It was
But
Foster. I found it.
it
Yeah.
was Foster, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, like I loved it because I'm like, oh my god, that's I could see him doing it. When I can see you doing it, that is just fucking beautiful to me. Because I'm like, yes. So yeah, I just want to say I'm so happy you have Oba. Because like finally I get to see you really mark the fuck out and just froth at the mouth just for somebody to really succeed and take everything you feel they're fucking owed. It is a beautiful side of you, and I am living for it. So yeah, and just in time to see our Emperor God King hopefully tonight on NXT, just shy of 7 minutes. Do you have any closing remarks Evan, before I take us home?
I do have, well, this isn't a remark that's actually related to anybody that we've talked about. I just want to talk to make sure that we get this straight. I think that it would be a really good opportunity for us to do a Fave 5 in 5 weeks, which is a little bit shorter than our usual time, because there is not a really good time after that until like the 8 week mark. And if we do that, then it's going to be a 5 week jump until our next one after that. So we're either going to have to do a 5 week period between now and our next one, or between our next one and the one after that.
Okay.
And I think that
Yeah,
the between now and our next one is better because it would be right after both Bad Blood and the first NXT show on CW.
I agree. I agree. So let's aim for that.
10
Yeah.
8, 10 8,
Okay.
October 8th.
All right. Sounds good.
So next Fave 5.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Be sure to leave a like as you follow us, subscribe with the bell icon for notifications so you miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast and all the IWC. And actually, I want to talk to you about this week because we know next week on Tuesday we're going to be doing 12 Request Live, Super Blue, WrestleMania 9 live reactions.
Yeah.
That'll be super easy because it's on Peacock. What is this week looking like for us? Because I haven't heard anything about any Marigold shows so far, and I know Stardom recap Thursday, but are we doing any
We
Stardom?
have
Yeah.
two Marigold shows backed up right now in the archive.
Okay, cool. Do we want to just knock them both out tomorrow like we've
Definitely
been doing?
not.
Or
We don't have the time to do it both tomorrow. I think we should do one tomorrow, one Friday.
okay, so these are a bit longer shows then. Okay.
Well, they're tournament shows.
Okay. All
The
right.
Dream Star, the Dream Star Grand Prix is starting.
Sweet. Okay. Well then, tomorrow at 5 then, right? I'm guessing for Marigold, the first show.
Actually, let's check in on that because we don't give a fuck about AEW. We might be able to get away with 6.
If you want to do 6, I'm fine with 6. I'm never gonna begrudge doing a show later.
Yeah, because
So
the main event of tomorrow's show is Nanae Mai. So we can dip before the 2 hour mark so we can start at 6 tomorrow.
all right, 6 tomorrow, Wednesday,
That
and
works
then
out super well for me because tomorrow is a day that I'm going to want to go out and do stuff beforehand. So it works out perfectly. And then, yeah, Friday, let me make sure real quick. Friday, we should be able to dip out. Yeah. Friday, we can also do 6. Unless you want more of a gap between the end of Marigold and the beginning of SmackDown. That's up to you.
Nah, bro, because look, let's keep it 100. We know I'm not exactly always present. So like if I need time, I'm just gonna take it regardless. Let's just do 6. Yeah. Like
So we'll
I'm
just
cool.
do 6 on both days then. That's perfect. And I
Yeah.
actually really like that because there was no way that we were going to be able to cut those 2 shows combined to be under 3 hours. There was just no way.
Right.
It was looking like bare minimum like 3:45.
All right. Well, I'm glad this all worked out then. So you guys know, tomorrow Marigold, and then Friday Marigold, and then Stardom in between on Thursday, where I think we round out the 5-star with select match reactions. And yeah, should be a good time. And then of course Saturday will be in review at 10:30. And so yeah, it's a bit more of a muted week, which I welcome very much. And yeah, it should still be good though. So hope you guys join us for that. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in and peace out.